A moving castle? Ah. Albedo nodded, and lifted her fighting stance. Reverted to that appearance wearing a pure white dress. Riaxiao walked slowly towards her body, shaking her head slightly as she walked, and said in a low voice, "It's so ugly, you hateful evil god, it's really damnable for me to be seen by other people in such a posture." As Riaxiao approached, the blood-colored monster became more and more uneasy, but it couldn't move at all, as if it was held in place by some force. The main body is gone, and the evil god retreats. Riaxiao shouted, and pressed her hands on the top of the blood-colored monster's head. A crimson force spread out, and then Riaxiao, who was in the form of blood, turned into a wave of blood and entered the monster's head, into the body of the blood-colored monster. The blood-colored monster's body trembled, stopped shaking, gradually lowered its head, and fell into silence. Lin Yu and Albedo looked at each other, and did not approach rashly. "Master, what's down there?" At this time, Albedo asked curiously. The cave has been shattered under the attack of Albedo and the blood-colored monster. In fact, the cave before Lin Yu completely wiped out the tentacles of the evil god was still extremely strong, because when the cave was broken, it coincided with the time when Lin Yu wiped out the tentacles of the evil god. Without the maintenance of the power of the evil god's tentacles, the cave is no longer strong. It is just an ordinary cave, so it is naturally difficult to maintain the shots of two demigods. It's an ancient castle, the Blood Castle. I also encountered a lot of disgusting and sticky tentacles inside. It seems to be some evil god's tentacles. The changes here may also be related to those tentacles, but I have already solved them. Lin Yu replied. So that's the case, no wonder those ominous breaths suddenly disappeared. Albedo nodded thoughtfully. However, there is an ancient castle below here, which is really unexpected. Really? Lin Yu looked around again, who would have thought that there was an ancient blood castle deep in the place in front of him. Just as Lin Yu and Albedo were talking, the bloody monster over there moved again. The limbs were twisted strangely, the head was slowly raised, and a pair of blood-colored eyes stared at Lin Yu firmly. Then he fell to the ground suddenly, and crawled towards Lin Yu's direction, so fast that he arrived in front of him in the blink of an eye. This appearance reminded Lin Yu of a character in a horror movie. The distance between the bloody monster and Lin Yu was less than 1 foot, and they stared at each other. Those blood-colored pupils met Lin Yu's black and white pupils without any waves, and blinked suddenly. Then there was a crackling sound from the blood-colored monster's body, and it slowly straightened up, moving its neck, and soon, the blood redness faded away, and it turned into snow-white skin. Even the bloody hair slowly turned into blonde hair, and the blood-red eyes also turned into a pair of green eyes. Riaxiao, it seems that your blood and body have been successfully fused. How are you doing? Are you getting used to it? Lin Yu looked at Riaxiao in front of him, and the figure of the other party seemed to be a little different from what he had seen before. How could he build an airport so well? Riaxiao embraced her hands, blushing slightly, and said in a low voice, "Do you have any clothes?" Lin Yu looked at Riaxiao with a strange expression, took out a robe from the system package, and handed it to Riaxiao. "Didn't you dress neatly when you were in the castle? Why is there nothing here, and you can see everything at a glance?" "You are stupid, I used to be in the form of blood and soul, so I can change my clothes into whatever I want. Now that I have a physical body again, I can't change my clothes as I like. But fortunately, there are still my clothes in the castle," Riaxiao said and walked towards the dome where the blood castle was located. "This blood castle, can you still take it away?" Lin Yu asked with some doubts. Of course, this blood castle was jointly built by several generations of our top blood mages, and the blood mages who can be branded can be freely contained. Riaxiao said quite proudly, "Obviously, having such an ancient castle that can be moved anytime and anywhere is definitely something worth showing off. Is it so amazing?" Lin Yu nodded. According to what Riaxiao said, isn't this blood castle existing like a magic weapon of space? Watching Riaxiao go to take back the blood castle buried deep in the ground, Lin Yu also had a trace of envy in his eyes. It would be great when your own territory can move freely. In this way, if you encounter any unwinnable enemies, you can run with your hometown anyway, so that your home won't be stolen. "Master, what are you thinking about?" Albedo asked. "I'm thinking that it would be nice if our territory can move freely, so that we don't have to worry about the territory being attacked by the enemy when we are not in the territory. Indeed, it would be much more convenient if the territory could be moved." Albedo nodded thoughtfully. Riaxiao pinched the seal with her hand, and she disappeared in place. When she reappeared, she had changed into the appearance that Lin Yu saw not long ago. The whole person looks like a young lady, and at the same time the dome on the ground has disappeared, and it has obviously been put away by Riaxiao. It's really convenient. Lin Yu couldn't help sighing again. "By the way, Lin Yu, I will give you a piece of advice. You have annihilated the tentacles of the evil god, and you have been targeted by the evil god. You will inevitably suffer revenge from the evil god in the future." Riaxiao, who looked like a young lady, was still holding a white umbrella in her hand. She didn't see the sun, but she still held it up. "Revenge of the evil god, is that evil god very powerful?" Lin Yu's expression also became serious. "Yes, you have seen the surrounding environment, right? It is the masterpiece of the evil god, and this is just the power of one tentacle of the evil god, covering such a large area around it, and even forming a forbidden area for life. You can imagine how powerful the real evil god is. And he is also very good at deceiving people's hearts. Once he falls under the bewitchment of the evil god, he will become a servant of the evil god, and his life is worse than death. But because of this, there are countless believers in the evil god and his power is huge. It was rare to see Rias with a serious look, but I heard extremely bad news from the other party. Evil god? It seems very interesting. Master, shall we go to attack the evil god? Albedo's eyes flickered, as if she had become interested in the evil god Rias was talking about. No, let's grow obscenely. Lin Yu hurriedly refused. What a joke. When he used alchemy to refine the tentacle, he was prompted by the system. That is the existence of Shenjao level, which is a higher quality than demigod level. However, I will find this evil god sooner or later, so there is no rush. It can be said that all the troops under Lin Yu died because of the tentacles of the evil god. That strange power could devour life, and Rias body didn't actually hurt the lives of the orc warriors, but Rias body was too terrifying at that time, like a bloody monster. This made Tryndamere and the others mistakenly think that it was because of the blood-colored monster that they planted seedlings in the cave. In fact, the culprit of all this is just a tentacle of the evil god. Rias physical body alone cannot swallow the life force of so many people at the same time, at most it can only absorb some blood. The current me is only a 1-star epic, and I am still far away from the Shenjao level. Lin Yu shook his head, and then asked, Rias, what is the origin and where is the evil spirit you speak of? Although Lin Yu does not intend to contact that evil god in a short period of time, it is good to know the opponent's bottom line first and take precautions in advance. The evil god comes from the sea of sky in the heavens. It is rumored that he is also a sky curtain giant beast, but his body is not as huge as other sky curtain giant beasts, and it is also different from other sky curtain giant beasts. Most of the other giant beasts possess unimaginable strange powers, but the evil god is good at deceiving people's hearts, and has also mastered various special powers, such as devouring life. This dark area is also known as the Forbidden Zone of Death. It is very similar to the Lord of Death. I'm not sure if there is any relationship between the two. Rias looked up at the sky, as if she wanted to see through the sky and look at the sea of sky in the heavenly realm. The evil god is in the sea of sky. Lin Yu's eyes moved slightly. He didn't expect that the evil god was actually a giant beast of the sky curtain. It was all right now, and it conflicted with his purpose. He also promised Maria that he would take her to teach GB on the back of a giant sky-veiled beast. This is all right. I haven't found a way to go to the sea of the sky yet, so I offended a big boss in the sea of the sky. Master, it seems that we really need to get rid of that evil god first. Albedo also realized the key to this. Hey, but it's not so easy for you to solve the evil god, and Lin Yu, you have been imprinted by the evil god. If you are in the heaven, or if the evil god believers are nearby, you can feel the existence of the evil god mark on you, to hunt you down. While Rias was speaking, she had already come to Lin Yu, and she grabbed her right hand slightly forward, and a purple pupil emerged from Lin Yu's body. The purple pupil looked at everything around him indifferently, full of numbness, without any emotion. This is... Lin Yu was startled. He really didn't realize that he had been marked, let alone when he was planted. Is it that time? Lin Yu recalled that when he looked at the shadow of the evil god, he had seen the pair of purple eyes of the other party, and was almost bewitched by it. Could it be that he was marked by the evil god at that time? Can this thing be removed? Lin Yu asked quickly. With such a thing on his body, it is equivalent to installing a locator, and it may be discovered by people from the side of the evil god at any time. Of course you can, but the premise is naturally that you are stronger than the evil god. It is naturally easy to remove this mark.
Hey everyone, welcome to our channel, and thank you for your support. If there's a favorite novel on the channel and you want the next part, you're just one step away. Become a Patreon member and I can make it depending on your tier. Thank you for your attention.
Jiao waved her hand, and the purple pupils emerging from Lin Yu's body disappeared. This purple pupil will not emerge unless encountering external force, or feeling the breath of an evil god. It's like talking for nothing. Lin Yu shook his head helplessly. Forget it, let's go back to the territory first. We have to give Tryndamere and the others an explanation for the matter here. Territory, is your territory big? Of course my territory is huge, and you'll find out when you go to Kong Kong. Leaving the dark area affected by the evil god, Lin Yu found Tryndamere waiting outside. My lord, what's going on? I think the battle over there is fierce, and the cave has collapsed. Tryndamere asked again and again. Lin Yu looked at Rias. Explain it. Explain? What am I explaining? Rias turned her head and looked away, a look like I don't know, don't ask me. Snapped. Lin Yu slapped him over with a slap, and Rias jumped away from Lin Yu in surprise. What are you doing? I told you to explain it carefully. Please make this difficult for you? Don't forget that you will work for me for 3 years. Lin Yu said lightly. Rias said softly with an unhappy expression on her face. Tryndamere, right? I'm sorry for attacking you in the cave, but at that time I was just a pure body without wisdom, and it wasn't me who really hurt you, but the evil god. That's the way it is, Tryndamere. Rias is also a victim, and now I rescued her from the hands of evil gods, and she has to work for me for 3 years to pay off my debts. As for those brothers who died, believe me, one day we will stand in front of the evil god, crusade against the evil god, and avenge our brothers. Lin Yu patted Tryndamere's shoulder and said in relief. Tryndamere shook his head, his face was not very good-looking, he clenched his fists and said firmly, I see, Lord, since this Riestjo is now serving Lord, she will be my comrade in arms from now on. As for the brothers who died, I also believe that Lord will avenge them. Don't worry, I will never let my brothers sacrifice in vain. Patting Tryndamere on the shoulder again, Lin Yu and his party began to walk into the territory. Tryndamere and Riestjo had to be settled first, and the matter of conquering the territories above the princely level had to be paid close attention. This immediately provoked a Shenjao level enemy. If you don't hurry up and become stronger, you are waiting for death. Soon, the group returned to the territory. The rest of the barbarian warriors, including Tryndamere, were sent to recuperate. What they lost was their source of life, which even affected their own strength. It would take a long time to recover naturally. Fortunately, there are nurses such as Bozem in Lin Yu's current territory, who can help the orc warriors heal. As for Riestjo, Lin Yu was about to arrange a room for her, but Riestjo called out the blood castle with a look of disdain. Suddenly a 6-story castle appeared in Lin Yu's territory, and there was no sign of being buried deep underground for so many years. Afterwards, she wandered into the castle like a young lady. The 2 gates of the castle opened automatically, and after Riestjo entered, the gates closed automatically. I'll go, this blood castle is really a good thing, it would be great if I can have one sometime. End of this chapter. Chapter 133, Giant Bee Forest. Lin Yu said with some envy. What a tall house, master, who is this woman, how can she live in such a big house? Little Jelly asked stupidly from the side, and was full of envy when she looked at the blood castle. If you want it, go make one yourself. By the way, why didn't you see the 3-legged golden toad that you took care of? Lin Yu touched Little Jelly's head. He looked around suspiciously, but he didn't find that big toad that liked to pester him. A big toad with 3 legs? I don't know where he went, but he should be back soon. Little Jelly bit her finger and said cutely, you guy, you know how to eat and eat all day long. Are you so obsessed with eating at Lilith's place that you forgot about the 3-legged golden toad? Lin Yu was a little speechless, letting a rare big toad like the 3-legged golden toad wander around, wondering if he would be caught and drink the soup. Or it was regarded as gold and refined, and it was taken away for collection. Forget it, anyway, it is also a prince-level existence, so it shouldn't be so easy to have an accident. Lin Yu shook his head, preparing to upgrade the territory first. Just happened to occupy a princely-level territory, Blue Silver Valley, with an energy heart in his hand. System, upgrade the territory. Calling up the system panel, Lin Yu directly clicked to upgrade the territory. You have consumed 5,940 gold coins, 5,940 stone materials, 5,940 wood, 4,450 fine iron, energy heart X1, and successfully upgraded the territory to LV7. With the successful upgrade of the territory, Lin Yu's territory expanded again, a white light flashed, and a new territory attribute appeared in front of Lin Yu. Territory. Main city level, LV7. Population limit, 158/400. Area, 30 miles. Special buildings, Devil Training Camp, Washing House, Spirit Field, Territory Teleportation Array, unbuilt. Basic resources, 300 million gold coins, 1.5 W stone, 1.1 W wood, 3005 refined iron. Rare resources, Spirit Water X120, Magic Crystal X30, Earth Spirit Crystal X15. Occupying forces, Swanyu Lake, Swampland, Lost Mining Field, Beastman Tribe, Flower Valley, Delongton. Reminder, to upgrade to a level 8 territory, you need to consume 7,850 gold coins, 7,850 stone, 7,850 wood, 5,650 refined iron, and energy core X2. Lin Yu's territory has been raised to level 7, and while the scope has expanded, many ordinary buildings have appeared. And the next upgrade to the 8th level will require 2 hearts of energy. It seems that as the level increases, the demand for the energy heart will also increase. 2 hearts of energy mean that Lin Yu needs to occupy 2 more territories above the princely level. Lin Yu turned on the map function of the system and looked at the current place. After receiving the map made by the adventurer Harry, the system map incorporated the map information recorded by the other party. On the map information, there are many alien territories above the princely level, and there are even powerful alien tribes at the epic level. The original map was marked with dangerous marks by Harry. Their team only had the combat power of a prince. After discovering an epic level alien from a distance, they didn't dare to approach them. They just marked their positions and retreated. And this epic level alien race is also marked on the map. It is a group of powerful bull monsters. It is also some distance from where Lin Yu is, so I have never encountered it. However, if Lin Yu met those bull monsters, he would not be able to develop safely to this day. Let's take down these nearby alien territories first, and raise the level of the territories as soon as possible. Lin Yu made up his mind to attack a few territories first while it was still early. The closest to Lin Yu's current territory is a princely alien territory. Of course, it's not that close. According to the map, the distance between the two is at least 2 or 3 hours away. And this territory happens to be on the route of another team of troops. Maybe they can still meet it if they rush there now. Taking Albedo with them, Lin Yu and the two rushed towards the direction of the Flower Girl army led by Bodam. Along the way, Lin Yu decomposed the corpses of the monsters killed by Bodam along the way, and harvested a pile of supplies. Under the full speed of the Albedo bicorn, it quickly overtook the Bodams who were advancing on foot. My lord, why are you here? Bodam also stopped when he saw Lin Yu and the two coming. Things have changed, we have to seize the time to engulf the territories of other alien races, Lin Yu said, explaining the current situation. Bodam also realized the urgency of the matter, nodded, and was not unhappy with Lin Yu's decision. But Lord, we haven't found any alien territory yet. It's okay, I have a map here, and there is an alien territory not far ahead. Lin Yu looked at the system map, and the marked alien territory was not far ahead. Okay, let's go. Bodam nodded and summoned the flower girls to set off again. Soon, Lin Yu and others approached the coordinate point where the alien territory displayed on the system map is located. This is a lush jungle with huge beehive-like things hanging on the branches. Human-shaped giant bees interspersed among them, busy with something, approaching the hive from time to time to have a look. Giant bee forest. The giant bee forest is rich in a special kind of honey, which is fragrant, not pungent, melts in the mouth, sweet but not greasy. It is a kind of sweet food that the nobles of the principality like most. Harry and the others once accepted the task of collecting giant bee honey, and they came to this giant bee forest to pick honey. You have entered the prince-level territory, giant bee forest, do you want to attack? Attack. Lin Yu did not hesitate, but the princely-level alien territory could easily be crushed by Lin Yu's current strength. Attack. Bodam also ordered, and soon the flower girls under his command rushed to the giant bee forest, fighting with the human giant bees. The flower girls almost defeated the giant bees in the giant bee forest with the advantage of crushing, and successfully took down this giant bee forest. Congratulations on successfully breaking through the prince-level forces and obtaining the energy heart X1. You successfully broke through the giant bee forest, do you occupy it? Occupied. You have successfully occupied the giant bee forest? Because of this building, it is outside your territory. Within 7 days, if no troops are stationed, it will become a land without owner. Attribute data has been generated, please check it. Giant bee forest. Area, 16 miles. Output, 500 giant honey/day. Recruitment of arms, giant bee, 50 gold coins/day. Special effects, 10% get high quality giant honey. Garrison arms, none. While the flower girls were cleaning up the battlefield, Lin Yu also occupied the giant bee forest by the way, and at the same time checked the attributes of the giant bee forest. Giant honey is not only delicious, but the high-quality giant honey even has the effect of enhancing physical fitness, especially for human cubs. And this is where giant honey really shines. End of this chapter. Chapter 134 Sweet Giant Honey. There is only a 10% chance of producing high-quality giant honey, which is a bit low. Lin Yu curled his lips, and then recruited 500 units of giant bees. There were thousands of giant bees in the original giant bee forest, and dash units is not much for the giant bee forest. Rays of light flashed, and 500 giant humanoid bees appeared in front of Lin Yu. They are wrapped in yellow coats, with a pair of small wings flapping on their backs, especially the long poisonous thorns at the end, which is the truly terrifying place. Lord. The giant bee was recruited by Lin Yu, and the giant bee itself is a race with a distinct class. He showed great respect for Lin Yu, the lord. From now on, this giant bee forest will be taken care of by you. I believe you will take good care of it. With the same words, Lin Yu encouraged the giant bees again. The giant bees were obviously very useful, and spontaneously allocated the area of the giant bee forest. The trees in the giant bee forest are also very particular. They are a special kind of honey tree. The sap of the tree itself is very delicious. After the special skills of the giant bee, it produces a delicious honey that can improve the human body. Honey. At this time, some hard-working giant bees have already started to work, and the sharp thorns at the end are pierced into the honey tree, sucking the juice of the honey tree. Albedo, I heard that this giant honey is delicious, would you like to try it? Lin Yu and Albedo came under a big tree, and a beehive was hanging on the tree, from which the mellow fragrance of giant honey came out. All right. Albedo nodded, and immediately a giant bee came over and said with a blushing face, Lord Albedo, are you going to enjoy giant honey now? Of course, what's the problem? Lin Yu still didn't know why the giant bee lady in front of her was shy. She pointed to the beehive on the tree, and the mother said, give it to us to taste. Okay, my lord. The giant bee lady lowered her head shyly. Just like a cow producing milk, it squeezed out the extremely mellow giant honey. Lin Yu's eyes widened instantly, looking at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Lord Albedo, if you want to taste it, you should taste the freshest giant honey. No wonder the master suddenly wanted to taste honey, it turned out to be this kind of honey. Albedo looked at Lin Yu with a half-smile. Lin Yu raised his head and pretended not to care about looking elsewhere, but facing the honey delivered to his mouth, he had no choice but to taste it in the end. Sure enough, it smells fragrant, not pungent, melts in the mouth, sweet but not greasy. One bite makes people reluctant to let go. Well, my lord, it's almost there. The bee lady gasped shyly. It was obvious that Lin Yu had almost eaten up the honey just picked. I'm sorry, giant honey is really sweet. Lin Yu smashed his mouth, and he had a lot of aftertaste. At the same time, his physique seems to have been strengthened a little bit. At this moment, the voices of several bee mothers came from around. My lord, we found a few sneaky human races stealing giant honey over there. Huh? Someone stole honey. Lin Yu's eyes moved slightly. He didn't care about the giant bee forest in the past, but now the giant bee forest is Lin Yu's private territory. How could he just watch others steal into his house? Come on, let's go and see who came to steal the giant honey. Lin Yu followed several bee mothers, and soon came to the second half of the giant bee forest. Sure enough, as the bee mother said, there are a few sneaky people stealing honey. These people don't pay attention at all, stealing honey is fine, and they directly pick off the entire hive. Lin Yu looked, and there were only 2 people on the other side, but they were holding 4 beehives. This was not enough, and he wanted to pick more giant beehives, which made him a little greedy. Lin Yu and others surrounded him without disturbing the other party, listening to the other party's soft voice. Brother, why is it so quiet in the giant bee forest today? There isn't a single giant bee moving around. This is really a bumper harvest. There are so many giant honeys that can be sold for a lot of money. You can ask the best priest in town to help mom heal. It was a young woman who was speaking, with 2 beehives on her back, a lot of sweat on her face, slightly tired, but her expression was very happy. Hush, although I don't know why the giant bees are gone, but we can't take it lightly. Didn't we hear the sound of killing here just now? I guess those giant bees are going to deal with the outsiders. We are picking 2 hives. Let's go. Next to the young woman was an older man with a serious face, looking around cautiously. And the location they chose is also very hidden, in the second half of the giant bee forest, and the number of beehives here is not too large, and it may be the location with the fewest giant bees on weekdays. From their conversation, Lin Yu also got a little clear about their identities. This is a pair of brothers and sisters from the old city of Hutton Mall. Both of them are dressed in shabby clothes, obviously from poor families. And the mother of the 2 was seriously ill again, and it would take a lot of money to cure them, so they asked the pastor to help them. The old city of Huttonmare is equivalent to the slums of Blue Star, where all the lower-class people of the Principality of Belmare live. Ordinary citizens of the Principality of Belmar, if they get sick, can go to various churches to seek help from pastors for free. As for the lower-class people living in the old city of Huttonmar, they did not receive any assistance from the Principality of Belmare at all, and could only rely on themselves to earn gold coins to ask the priest for treatment. Therefore, the lower-class people living in the old town of Huttonmar basically can only wait for death once they suffer from any serious illness. Or, like this pair of brothers and sisters, enter Grand Forest to find some valuable giant honey and so on. But the vast majority of people come and go. Although the human race on the Arad continent is stronger than the ordinary people on the Blue Star, they are much worse than those ferocious monsters. The poor in the Principality of Belmare are also a group of poor people. Lin Yu shook his head, walked out of the hiding place, and the giant bee with a group of flower girls appeared in front of the brother and sister. You two, you can stop. Now this giant bee forest is my personal territory of Lin Yu. The sudden appearance of the voice startled the siblings, and they looked around vigilantly. When they saw a human race like Lin Yu followed by alien races like the giant bee and the flower girl, they were too shocked to speak. There are also alien races living in the Principality of Belmare, but the alien races living in Grand's Forest are more barbaric, and generally have no connection with the human race. What's more, the giant bee forest is a famous and dangerous place in the Principality. This is where a group of princely giant bees live. End of this chapter. Chapter 134 Sweet Giant Honey. There is only a 10% chance of producing high-quality giant honey, which is a bit low. Lin Yu curled his lips, and then recruited 500 units of giant bees. There were thousands of giant bees in the original giant bee forest, and dash units is not much for the giant bee forest. Rays of light flashed, and 500 giant humanoid bees appeared in front of Lin Yu. They are wrapped in yellow coats, with a pair of small wings flapping on their backs, especially the long poisonous thorns at the end, which is the truly terrifying place. Lord. The giant bee was recruited by Lin Yu, and the giant bee itself is a race with a distinct class. He showed great respect for Lin Yu, the lord. From now on, this giant bee forest will be taken care of by you. I believe you will take good care of it. With the same words, Lin Yu encouraged the giant bees again. The giant bees were obviously very useful, and spontaneously allocated the area of the giant bee forest. The trees in the giant bee forest are also very particular. They are a special kind of honey tree. The sap of the tree itself is very delicious. After the special skills of the giant bee, it produces a delicious honey that can improve the human body. Honey. At this time, some hard-working giant bees have already started to work, and the sharp thorns at the end are pierced into the honey tree, sucking the juice of the honey tree. Albedo, I heard that this giant honey is delicious, would you like to try it? Lin Yu and Albedo came under a big tree, and a beehive was hanging on the tree, from which the mellow fragrance of giant honey came out. Hee, all right. Albedo nodded, and immediately a giant bee came over and said with a blushing face, Lord Albedo, are you going to enjoy giant honey now? Of course, what's the problem? Lin Yu still didn't know why the giant bee lady in front of her was shy. She pointed to the beehive on the tree, and the mother said, give it to us to taste. Okay, my lord. The giant bee lady lowered her head shyly. Just like a cow producing milk, it squeezed out the extremely mellow giant honey. Lin Yu's eyes widened instantly, looking at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Lord Albedo, if you want to taste it, you should taste the freshest giant honey. Hee, no wonder the master suddenly wanted to taste honey, it turned out to be this kind of honey. Albedo looked at Lin Yu with a half smile. Lin Yu raised his head and pretended not to care about looking elsewhere, but facing the honey delivered to his mouth, he had no choice but to taste it in the end. Sure enough, it smells fragrant, not pungent, melts in the mouth, sweet but not greasy, one bite makes people reluctant to let go. Well, my lord, it's almost there. The bee lady gasped shyly, it was obvious that Lin Yu had almost eaten up the honey just picked. Ah, I'm sorry, giant honey is really sweet. Lin Yu smashed his mouth, and he had a lot of aftertaste. At the same time, his physique seems to have been strengthened a little bit. At this moment, the voices of several bee mothers came from around. My lord, we found a few sneaky human races stealing giant honey over there. Huh? Someone stole honey. Lin Yu's eyes moved slightly, he didn't care about the giant bee forest in the past, but now the giant bee forest is Lin Yu's private territory, how could he just watch others steal into his house? Come on, let's go and see who came to steal the giant honey. Lin Yu followed several bee mothers, and soon came to the second half of the giant bee forest. Sure enough, as the bee mother said, there are a few sneaky people stealing honey. These people don't pay attention at all, stealing honey is fine, and they directly pick off the entire hive. Lin Yu looked, and there were only 2 people on the other side, but they were holding 4 beehives. This was not enough, and he wanted to pick more giant beehives, which made him a little greedy. Lin Yu and others surrounded him without disturbing the other party, listening to the other party's soft voice. Brother, why is it so quiet in the giant bee forest today? There isn't a single giant bee moving around. This is really a bumper harvest. There are so many giant honeys that can be sold for a lot of money. You can ask the best priest in town to help mom heal. It was a young woman who was speaking, with 2 beehives on her back, a lot of sweat on her face, slightly tired, but her expression was very happy. Hush, although I don't know why the giant bees are gone, but we can't take it lightly. Didn't we hear the sound of killing here just now? I guess those giant bees are going to deal with the outsiders. We are picking 2 hives. Let's go. Next to the young woman was an older man with a serious face, looking around cautiously. And the location they chose is also very hidden, in the second half of the giant bee forest, and the number of beehives here is not too large, and it may be the location with the fewest giant bees on weekdays. From their conversation, Lin Yu also got a little clear about their identities. This is a pair of brothers and sisters from the old city of Hutton Mall. Both of them are dressed in shabby clothes, obviously from poor families. And the mother of the 2 was seriously ill again, and it would take a lot of money to cure them, so they asked the pastor to help them. The old city of Huttonmare is equivalent to the slums of Blue Star, where all the lower-class people of the Principality of Belmare live. Ordinary citizens of the Principality of Belmar, if they get sick, can go to various churches to seek help from pastors for free. As for the lower-class people living in the old city of Huttonmar, they did not receive any assistance from the Principality of Belmare at all, and could only rely on themselves to earn gold coins to ask the priest for treatment. Therefore, the lower-class people living in the old town of Huttonmar basically can only wait for death once they suffer from any serious illness. Or, like this pair of brothers and sisters, enter Grand Forest to find some valuable giant honey and so on. But the vast majority of people come and go. Although the human race on the Arad continent is stronger than the ordinary people on the Blue Star, they are much worse than those ferocious monsters. The poor in the Principality of Belmare are also a group of poor people. Lin Yu shook his head, walked out of the hiding place, and the giant bee with a group of flower girls appeared in front of the brother and sister. You two, you can stop. Now this giant bee forest is my personal territory of Lin Yu. The sudden appearance of the voice startled the siblings, and they looked around vigilantly. When they saw a human race like Lin Yu followed by alien races like the giant bee and the flower girl, they were too shocked to speak. There are also alien races living in the Principality of Belmare, but the alien races living in Grand's Forest are more barbaric, and generally have no connection with the human race. What's more, the giant bee forest is a famous and dangerous place in the Principality. This is where a group of princely giant bees live. End of this chapter. Chapter 135 The Honey Stealer. In addition, people in the Principality kept sneaking into the giant bee forest to steal honey, and even had a lot of enemies with the giant bees in the giant bee forest. It was simply impossible for the 2 to live in peace in this place. That's why Lin Yu's appearance surprised the brothers and sisters so much. You, who are you? How can you live in peace with those giant bees? The younger sister among the siblings said in surprise. Be careful, Ayaz. Brother Anan was still very cautious, standing in front of his younger sister Ayaz, looking at Lin Yu and others with dignity. I have already made up my mind to delay the time and let my sister escape. Don't worry, I'm not a bad person. My name is Lin Yu, and this giant bee forest is the territory I just occupied. Lin Yu smiled, trying to be as gentle as possible. From the point of view of the Imperial Knights and those adventurers whom I have come into contact with before, an alien lord like myself is still very dangerous for ordinary people. The territory occupied by you? This is impossible. There are thousands of giant bees in the giant bee forest, and those giant bees all have prince-level combat power. Even the big men in the Principality can't easily claim it. You alone, how is it possible for people? Anan knew something about the principality and the giant bee forest, and they had inquired about it before leaving. It is precisely because of understanding that it feels incredible. Such a powerful giant bee forest was occupied in this way. Young man, this is not something you should consider. I heard what you said just now. You picked 4 beehives, which should be enough for your mother to heal her illness. Let's go now. I won't pursue this matter. Lin Yu waved his hand, not intending to argue with the poor 2 brothers and sisters in front of him. But it's only this time. If someone dares to come to the giant bee forest to steal giant honey in the future, Lin Yu will never let him go. Thank you, you are a good person, Mr. Lin Yu, Ayaz said gratefully. Ayaz, who was wearing tattered clothes, didn't he have as many thoughts as her brother Anan, and was still very naive, so he didn't he think it was strange that Lin Yu occupied the giant bee forest. Thank you, Lord Lin Yu. Seeing that Lin Yu really didn't he intend to trouble them, and was about to let them go, Anan also let down his guard a little. He took the hand of his younger sister Ayaz, and prepared to leave with 4 hives. Lin Yu quietly watched the 2 brothers and sisters stay away from the giant bee forest without stopping them. Anan was relieved until he completely exited the range of the giant bee forest and looked back. Lin Yu really didn't he chase after him. Brother, didn't you say that the giant bee forest is dangerous? I think it's okay here. That Mr. Lin Yu is really a good man. He occupied a place as big as the giant bee forest, and he was willing to let us take it away from him. Hive. Ayaz also looked back, feeling a little lucky. Although Ayaz is naive, he also knows that the giant bee forest is not a good place, and there are many dangers, and the value of giant honey is higher, but Lin Yu gave them the valuable giant honey like that, so that Ayaz was very moved. Anan paused, his eyes moved, he looked at Ayaz beside him, and finally turned back to look in the direction of Lin Yu. Ayaz, wait for me here, I have something to tell that Lord Lin Yu. Oh, brother, hurry up. Ayaz nodded. Well, why is he back again? Lin Yu was about to leave giant bee forest, but when he saw Anan going and returning, he also stopped, not knowing what the other party wanted to do. Lord Lin Yu, there is one thing I want to tell you about the giant bee forest. Anan is back. What's up? Lin Yu frowned, then asked. It's like this. In fact, my sister Ayaz and I came to the giant bee forest to pick beehives, and we also came after listening to a mysterious person. That person seems to be some kind of big shot. He spent a lot of money. He gathered a lot of poor people in the old city of Hutton March. The purpose is to get the giant peak honey in the giant bee forest. I don't know how many people participated, but it is said that as long as you participate, you can get dash gold coins. If you can pick a honeycomb, you can get an extra dash gold coins. With such a high reward, the last person to participate will definitely not, it will be less. Anan explained, telling what he had encountered in the old city of Hutton March. From Anan's mouth, Lin Yu also knew one thing, that a large number of poor people will come to the giant bee forest to pick the hives. I see, Anan, thank you for telling me this. Lin Yu smiled, and he let go of his original intention of leaving giant bee forest to explore other places. You know, even though I started earlier than those people, they shouldn't be too far behind me. Anan came back again to say this sentence, and it was all a reminder to Lin Yu. Master, listen to that person, will someone attack the giant bee forest later? Albedo was by Lin Yu's side and heard Anan's words. Lin Yu shook his head and said coldly, those people are for the giant honey of the giant bee forest. For them, attacking the giant bee forest is just to seize the giant honey. If the giant bee forest is really given to them, they will not accept it, because they are not, it doesn't have the ability to produce giant honey like giant bees. It seems that those big men in the principality are no longer satisfied with the occasional giant honey, they want to grab enough giant honey at once, and then let the giant bees continue to produce giant honey, and then another wheel of robbery. However, those big men are cruel enough. The people in the old city of Huttonmar are all poor ordinary people, and very few of them are capable of fighting. There are not even many adventurers who can enter the giant bee forest head-on to get the honey, not to mention ordinary people. If they really take the money and enter the giant bee forest, they are probably here to die. After listening to Anan's words, Lin Yu also quickly realized the problem. Those big people don't plan to spend a high price to issue the task of picking giant honey, but directly spend a very small price in the slums, and they can recruit a lot of poor people who are willing to work hard. There are those poor people standing in front of them. After entering the giant bee forest, they can attract the attention of most giant bees. At this time, as long as those big men send out some well-trained henchmen, they can easily pick up a large number of beehives. It's a good strategy, but it doesn't take human life as human life at all, but a tool to lure the enemy. I didn't expect that there are vicious people in the world, my lord, you must teach them a good lesson. Yes, my lord, such a person is too bad. Sisters, get ready for the coming enemies. End of this chapter. Chapter 136. Chapter 136. The bee girls around Lin Yu also heard Lin Yu's analysis, and one by one immediately said with righteous indignation. Although their ethnic groups have distinct classes, they are also particularly united. Naturally, they can't understand those big shots using such dirty methods. Hihi, I don't like this kind of people the most. As long as they dare to come, they don't want to go back. Lin Yu showed a sneer, and ordered the flower girls again to get ready and wait for the people from the Principality of Belmare to come to their door. While waiting, Lin Yu opened the system map and looked again, and there was another princely territory near the giant bee forest. This is also a foreign territory with special output, Monkey Valley. There are various fruit trees and a group of fruit monkeys growing in Monkey Valley. Monkeys with all kinds of fruits like to eat all kinds of fruits, and they can pick all kinds of fruits to make wine, so as to make extremely delicious monkey wine. Monkey wine is also mellow and delicious, and the aroma of the wine is overflowing. After drinking, it can also enhance one's physique. Therefore, the monkey wine is as favored by the dignitaries of the Principality of Belmar as the giant honey, but the monkeys in the Monkey Valley are not easy to mess with, and they are much more ferocious than the giant bees in the giant bee forest. Few of the human race who entered Monkey Valley could leave alive, and it was extremely difficult to steal monkey wine in Monkey Valley. Naturally, there is very little reserved for Monkey Valley monkey wine. Therefore, in the Principality, a small bottle of monkey wine can be sold for a sky-high price, which is even higher than the value of giant honey. Looking at the location of Monkey Valley, Lin Yu pondered for a while. Perhaps Monkey Valley will also be among the targets of that group of big shots. After all, this kind of thing is unique. Only the first time can the most poor people be summoned. Maybe there will be poor people in the future, but there will never be a first time. That's a lot. Write down the coordinates where Monkey Valley is located, and Lin Yu is going to make it the next territory to occupy. The flower girls and the bee girls arranged everything in the giant bee forest, and about 2 or 3 hours after the Anand brothers and sisters left, the bee girls who were in charge of the sentry found the traces of outsiders and came back to report. Report Lord, traces of the human race have been found ahead, and preliminary observations show that there are at least thousands of them. Thousands of quantity? It's really enough to spend blood money. Lin Yu's eyes moved slightly, looking into the distance. Master, do you want to kill them all? Albedo's golden eyes shone with a strange light. Lin Yu was silent for a while, not knowing how to choose. That's not a few human races, nor dozens, or hundreds, but at least thousands, maybe even tens of thousands. Not to mention 100 gold coins, even if it is 10 gold coins, there are a lot of poor people who can work for you in this era. My lord, those human races are less than a kilometer away from the giant bee forest. At this time, another flower girl reported. There was no time for Lin Yu to hesitate anymore. Lin Yu took a deep breath and ordered. The whole army, prepare to meet the enemy? Don't leave one, no, leave a few, let them spread the prestige of our giant bee forest, so that the high-level officials of the Principality of Belmare will not dare to set foot on our territory from now on. As ordered. Sisters, hear it, let those who dare to invade our territory know how powerful we are. We must kill them so that they will not dare to have delusions about our territory in the future. The bee maidens and the flower girls are all full of fighting spirit, waiting for the arrival of the human race thousands of meters away. Soon, Lin Yu also saw a large number of humans arriving. Looking far away, most of those people were dressed like the Anan brothers and sisters, and each of them had a bamboo basket on their backs for placing beehives. As Anan said, they were poor people in the old city. And in front of those poor people, there are 3 brightly dressed youths with long swords pinned to their waists. They look extraordinary, and they are obviously different from the poor people beside them. Lin Yu glanced over, and the attributes of those young people suddenly appeared in front of Lin Yu. Green Deb. Level, LV 35. Strength, 3-star commander level. Life, 1520. Attack, 150. Defense, 200. Features, none. Weapon, Principality Iron Sword, green. Armor, Refined Iron Armor, blue. Wrist guards, Refined Iron Bracers, blue. Belt, Rhino Belt, green. Bottoms, Noble Clothing, blue. Boots, Light Feather Boots, green. Accessory, Emerald Wrench, green. Active skills, Slash LV1, Prick LV1. Passive skill, Sword Mastery LV1. Talent, none. Vilcrew. Level, LV 35. Strength, 3-star commander level. Life, 1750. Attack, 210. Defense, 170. Features, none. Weapon, Principality Iron Sword, green. Armor, Refined Iron Armor, blue. Wrist guards, Refined Iron Bracers, blue. Belt, Rhino Belt, green. Bottoms, Noble Clothing, blue. Boots, Light Feather Boots, green. Accessory, Emerald Wrench, green. Active skills, Sword Drawing LV1, Mountain Collapsing Strike LV1. Passive skill, Sword Mastery LV1. Talent, none. Albert Byrne. Level, LV 35. Strength, 3-star commander level. Life, 1150. Attack, 140. Defense, 180. Features, none. Weapon, Principality Iron Sword, green. Armor, Refined Iron Armor, blue. Wrist guards, Refined Iron Bracers, blue. Belt, Rhino Belt, green. Bottoms, Noble Clothing, blue. Boots, Light Feather Boots, green. Accessory, Emerald Wrench, green. Active skills, Yuehua Sword LV1, Back Jump Slash LV1. Passive skill, Sword Mastery LV1. Talent, none. Are there only 3 commander level leaders? Lin Yu was a little surprised. Although the 3 young men were dressed brightly and looked very valuable, they actually had no protection bonus. In addition, those poor people are even more unbearable. Most of them are of ordinary level, and there are very few of them even above level 10, let alone their combat power. This is a proper death squad, just to divert the attention of the giant bees in the giant bee forest. The real main force is definitely someone else. Albedo, don't make a move for now, and pay attention to see if there are other people in the dark. Good host. Albedo nodded, and slowly disappeared into the forest of giant bees. Ash, get ready to attack. Okay, my lord. Ash ordered, and led his subordinates to leave the giant bee forest first. Not far away, 3 young men from the Principality of Belmare approached the giant bee forest. Greendeb looked at the giant bee forest not far away, and couldn't help showing a smile on his face. Crew, Born, I didn't expect that we would go so smoothly this time. We didn't encounter any danger along the way, and we arrived at the giant bee forest safely. It seems that we are destined to have a bumper harvest this time. End of this chapter. Chapter 137. Chapter 137. Yes, it is said that Grand's forest is extremely dangerous. In the past, only adventurers and powerful warriors from the Principality would enter the adventure. People like us will surely die when entering. I didn't expect that this time it would go so smoothly. Crew nodded. Grand's forest is a vast and boundless dangerous forest, in which there are countless monsters, and there are hundreds of alien forces at every turn. If ordinary people enter Grand's forest, if they are lucky, they will not go deep, and they will be able to come back. But if you go deep into Grand's forest, you will never come back. Not to mention those young masters who can only enjoy themselves in the Principality. Without strong combat power, it would be too long to enter Grand's forest. But this time, the 3 of them were also under pressure and had to enter Grand's forest. But I never thought that I have almost never been attacked by any monsters along the way, and even those brutal alien forces are rare. Sure enough, just like the rumors, some powerful lone wolves have entered Grand's forest, where they wantonly hunted and killed monsters and occupied alien territories. Otherwise, we would not have gone so smoothly. Born, who looked the most stable among the 3, said, "Those people don't know where they come from, but they are powerful, not affected by our Principality and Empire, and even proclaim themselves as lords without shame. It's really hateful." Crew said fiercely on the side. Whether it is the Principality of Belmar or the Peruse Empire, those who can become lords will be rewarded with a large territory. In his territory, the lord is the king and the sky, and the lord has the final say on the entire territory. Such a powerful right is undoubtedly what everyone yearns for. As for the 3 people who came this time, their fathers were lord-level existences. But it is indeed very difficult for the 3 of them to inherit the positions of their fathers' lords. Because each lord has several, even dozens of children. And it is conceivable how difficult it is to stand out from so many children and obtain the inheritance rights of the lords of the father's generation. The children of some lords even fought each other openly and secretly in order to fight for the right of inheritance, and assassinations emerged in endlessly. But now, some guys who appeared out of nowhere claimed to be lords and had their own territory, which made those big shots, especially those who were jealous of the territory, how to sit still. Therefore, many of the lords who were summoned were close to the Principality or the border of the Empire, and many of them died in the hands of the 2 major forces. The origins of those people are unknown, and there are many strong people among them. Fortunately, we did not encounter those people when we entered Grand's forest this time. Deb said, "The giant bee forest is ahead, let those untouchables go, he. Our gold coins are not so easy to get. Yes, it's time for them to contribute, haha." Crew nodded, and drank towards the pour from the old city behind him. "Hey, have you seen the forest ahead? That's your goal this time, the giant bee forest. Just go in and pick the beehives. When you return to the capital, you can exchange a beehive for 1,000 gold coins. Ha, you people can't earn 100 gold coins in a year, right? This time, as long as you participate, you can take away 100 gold coins. Now, as long as you pick a beehive, you can exchange for 1,000 gold coins. Hurry up." Both Deb and Crew were laughing and shouting loudly. The poor people who followed behind, young and old, looked at each other with excitement on their faces. Of course, they are not ignorant of the horror of the giant bee forest, and they have also heard about the value of the giant honey in the giant bee forest. But birds died for food, and people died for wealth. People like Born gave enough gold coins, so they could naturally make these poor people work hard, and even go crazy for it. Hey, 1,000 gold coins, 1,000 gold coins. Even if the giant bee forest is in danger, anyway, before I came out, I already left the dash gold coins I got to my wife and children. Now I am not afraid of anything. Brother, you should have said earlier. If I had said earlier, I would not have come. Come on, as long as I can get a beehive, my whole family will be able to live comfortably from now on." The poor people behind screamed excitedly and rushed towards the giant bee forest frantically. The temptation of gold coins completely made them temporarily forget the horror of Grand's forest. "My lord, why did those guys suddenly become so excited?" Ash looked suspiciously at the poor brigade, which had sped up another point. This is the desire of human beings, to be able to make oneself forget the upcoming danger, or in other words, to be willing to succumb to the desire and abandon oneself. Lin Yu murmured. Soon, the group of poor people from the old city of Huttonmar approached the giant bee forest, and at the same time they saw the flower girls and bee maidens walking out of the giant bee forest. The eyes of those people suddenly changed, and the excitement on their faces deepened again. But what they didn't notice was that the 3 noble youths from the capital had quietly disappeared. Thousands of arrows are fired, kill. Ash commanded the flower girl to launch an attack, shooting out round after round of arrows. The impoverished people who were running towards them couldn't resist at all, and fell to the ground one by one wailing. Even if there were thousands of them, the absolute gap in strength could no longer be made up by numbers. At the same time, on the other side of the giant bee forest, the three noble youths quietly sneaked into it. Damn it, something happened to the giant bee forest. It should be occupied by those unrecognized lords. This is troublesome. I thought it would be a big harvest, but now it seems that those poor people are likely to die here. The life and death of those poor people has nothing to do with us, as long as we can get enough giant honey. While the three of them were talking, they had already arrived under a honey tree and were about to pick off the honeycomb hanging on it. However, just when the three of them were about to strike, a gloomy light suddenly appeared, forcing the three of them back. Albedo came out from the hiding place, holding a giant axe, and looked at the three of them with a smile. "You, who are you? Could it be that you occupied the giant bee forest?" Crew asked in a panic. The axe just now almost cut off his entire head. "It's Albedo's master who occupies the giant bee forest. You bad guys actually want to steal from the master. Can you please die?" Although what he said made people feel horrified, but from Albedo's mouth, even if it made people die, it was not unacceptable. "Master? This woman probably has the combat power of a prince, and she is also a succubus. Damn it, is the master behind her a demon?" Born's face changed again and again, realizing that he and others seemed to be in big trouble. "Damn it, retreat quickly, I don't want to die in a place like this with those untouchables," Debu said with a gloomy face. The original goal of these people was to use those poor people to drag the giant bees in the giant bee forest. End of this chapter. Chapter 138. In order to let myself and others have the opportunity to steal the hive secretly, and now encountering an enemy that is difficult to resist, naturally they are unwilling to die in vain. Since you're here, don't think about leaving. Albedo grinned, and holding a giant axe, she quickly approached several people, raised the axe and dropped it, and eliminated the three people in front of her in an instant. The head fell to the ground, and the ground was stained red with blood. "Oh, I accidentally killed them all, and forgot to keep them alive." Albedo held the giant axe, looked at the three fallen people, and bit her finger in distress. On the other side, the battle between the poor and Lin Yu's troops was equally one-sided, and those poor were completely crushed and slaughtered. The number of thousands was wiped out in a few minutes. Blood flowed like a river, completely staining the outside of the giant bee forest red. This is the cruelty of war, and it is also the way of survival in the continent of Arad. After a battle, Lin Yu's troops had 0 casualties, while the poor people were left alive, and Aishi brought them to Lin Yu. These are a few girls in ragged clothes, their bodies trembling, their eyes full of fear. They dare not look at the people around them, and they are pressed by several bee mothers to Lin Yu. "My lord, these are the few remaining people," Ash reported. "Well, you did a good job." Lin Yu nodded and expressed his appreciation. "You guys, what's your name?" Lin Yu walked up to several captured girls. A few girls were terrified, and it's incredible that they haven't gone crazy yet. After all, he had just witnessed the battlefield like sure as hell, and the death of thousands of people around him. It seems that there will be nothing to ask for a while. Aishi, I'll leave these girls to you. I'll come and ask them in person after their emotions have stabilized. Lin Yu ordered to go on, and then the battlefield was cleaned up. That is, not far from the giant bee forest, in a shadow, the shadow squirmed, and a dozen figures appeared from it. These people are all wearing special black clothes, with the same mask on their faces, and a badge symbolizing a magician is engraved on the corner of the mask. This is a special army that is good at hiding. The masks and black clothes on their bodies are specially made, which can cover up their aura to a great extent. Generally speaking, it will only appear when the war starts, and it will be used to assassinate the enemy's high-level officials and so on. But now, it appeared in Grand's forest, and it was still following those poor people. Is it a foreign lord? Another treasure land has been occupied by them. In the future, the giant honey in the capital may be completely out of stock. Damn it. This time I encouraged so many untouchables to enter Grand's forest, I don't know how many treasures I can win. The people in black whispered, all looking in the direction of the giant bee forest. Rog, do you think it's time to do it? After a long time, one of the men in black asked. No, those alien races are very powerful, we are not opponents, let's go to other places to have a look. The man in black called Roger shook his head. Immediately, this line of hidden troops melted into the shadows again and disappeared. On the other side, Lin Yu did not notice that he was being spied on, and after waiting for the battlefield to be cleaned up, he opened the system map again. The next place he plans to go to is Monkey Valley, which is also a good territory. The bee maidens stayed at the giant bee forest, and Lin Yu took the remaining units and rushed to Monkey Valley directly in the direction of the system map. This is the advantage of having a map. You can directly know where there are forces and where there are resource territories. The distance to Monkey Valley is not close, and Lin Yu led the troops to march for about 2 hours before they were able to approach Monkey Valley. Just approaching Monkey Valley, Lin Yu received a prompt from the system. You have entered the territory of Lord Fanzang, please pay attention. Huh? The Lord's territory. Lin Yu was startled, and looked around quickly, but he didn't find any special buildings, and he was a little confused. This was the first time he met other lords. The current number of lords has been drastically reduced due to the end of the 7-day novice protection period. If there were originally 6,000 million lords in the region where Lin Yu was located, then after the elimination of the invasion of monsters, there are only about -million left. Unexpectedly, after so many days of exploration, Lin Yu finally met a lord. This shows how vast Grand's forest is. As for the lords who survived the invasion of monsters, their territorial forces have at least developed to the commanding level. Without this level of strength, it was impossible to survive the first wave of Warcraft invasion. Ash, you send a few flower girls to investigate nearby to see if there are other lords. Knowing from the system that he had entered the territory of other lords, Lin Yu immediately called AI Zile and asked him to investigate nearby. Now Monkey Valley is close at hand, and there are no buildings around, but the scope of the current lord's territory is not too large. As long as you look around with yourself as the center, you will be able to find the location of this lord named Fanzang. Moreover, if you have been prompted to enter the other party's territory, then the other party, as a lord, may not have a reminder that a lord has entered the territory. The facts are as Lin Yu expected. Not far away, the Lord Fanzang looked at the system prompt in front of him with an ugly expression. Lord Lin Yu has entered your territory, please pay attention. Damn it, Grand's forest is so big, why did so many people come to my territory because of Lin Yu? And he actually dared to leave the territory himself. Isn't he afraid that the territory will be destroyed and wiped out by the system? Fanzang is a middle-aged man with a gloomy face, and beside him stands a chimpanzee more than 2 meters tall. This is the hero he recruited, the prince-level monster orangutan. For a long time, Fanzang's development has been very steady, and he hasn't spoken much in the chat area. He just wants to grow stronger silently. Unfortunately, near his territory is a princely-level alien force, Monkey Valley. It was precisely because of this that Fanzang didn't have many opportunities to develop, and he didn't dare to leave the territory too far. That is to say, while the novice protection period was still there, I went out to dig and kill a few monsters. But when the novice protection period came, Fanzang could only guard his territory hard, and did not dare to upgrade, fearing that the expansion of the territory after the upgrade would conflict with the princely power Monkey Valley. He only has one prince-level hero, and according to his observation, there are hundreds of prince-level monsters in the Monkey Valley. No, I absolutely can't conflict with him now. At worst, I'll save money and avoid disaster. Fanzang quickly made up his mind, stopped hiding, and took the initiative to walk out of his territory. Soon, Fanzang saw the black crowd not far away, and swallowed uncontrollably at his Adam's apple. End of this chapter. Chapter 139. Chapter 139. Are you kidding? They are all prince-level troops. When Fanzang saw Lin Yu's Huanu unit, he immediately checked the Huanu information from the system. At a glance, all of them are prince-level troops, which almost scared Fanzang to pee. After a rough scan, there are at least hundreds of them, all of which are troops with princely-level combat power. On my side, there is only one strange orangutan that is princely level. This is simply not human, no wonder it can behave so fiercely in the Warcraft invasion. Fanzang put on a wry smile, shook his head, and walked out of his hiding place. The one in front is Lord Lin Yu, and I am Lord Fanzang. Fanzang shouted, and he took the initiative to show up to avoid being regarded as an enemy by Lin Yu, and killed him by accidentally blowing a breath. Lord Fanzang, you choose to show up, are you afraid that I will wipe out his territory? Fanzang's voice came into Lin Yu's ears clearly, and at the same time, a person and an orangutan appeared in front of them. It was the Lord Fanzang and his princely hero, the strange force orangutan. Master, is he an enemy? Albedo looked warily at Fanzang who appeared and the strange orangutan beside him. No hurry, let's take a look first. Lin Yu shook his head, seeing that Fanzang was wary of Albedo and the others beside him, and took the initiative to walk a certain distance forward. Only then did Fanzang breathe a sigh of relief. The arms around Lin Yu were too scary, and it was really difficult for people to accept it smoothly. Fanzang, Lin Yu. The two sides greeted each other. Fanzang's smile was a little forced, completely different from Lin Yu's relaxed smile. Lin Yu boss, I don't know what's the matter with you coming to my territory. Fanzang asked cautiously. I just passed by your territory by chance. As for why I came here, maybe you can guess. Lin Yu smiled. This was the first lord he had met, and Lin Yu also wanted to know some unknown information from the other party, or some items that can be traded, such as various blueprints, especially blueprints for special buildings. Passing by chance? Could it be Monkey Valley? Fanzang's eyes moved, and the first thing he thought of was the Monkey Valley on the edge of his territory. If there is any resource territory nearby, it is the Monkey Valley of the princely alien force. But how did Lin Yu know that there was a Monkey Valley near his territory? Fanzang was a little puzzled. That's right, I came here for the Monkey Valley, but I didn't expect there to be a lord next to the Monkey Valley. I don't know if that territory is occupied by you. Lin Yu asked. If Monkey Valley is occupied by the Lord Fanzang in front of him, the two parties may not be able to continue their chat properly. No, how could I occupy that Monkey Valley? If possible, I would rather let my territory appear in an open space. Fanzang shook his head with a wry smile. The Monkey Valley next to his territory has always been Fanzang's most troubled place. In fact, I have only entered Monkey Valley once, and I almost died in it. Fanzang began to chat with Lin Yu, gradually let go of his guard, and told Lin Yu about the situation in Monkey Valley. It's not that Fan Zhang is too naive, this kind of information can be easily revealed. Looking at the mighty princely army behind Lin Yu, he dared not hide the slightest thing. You really don't know if you are unlucky or lucky. After listening to Fan Zhang's experience, Lin Yu also wanted to laugh. Recruiting a princely hero at the beginning is definitely a lucky one among the lords. However, Fan Zhang's territory appeared near a princely level alien territory. Once the novice protection period expired, he lived a life of fear. Fortunately, the fruit monkeys in Monkey Valley only like to stay in Monkey Valley to pick fruits and make wine. If it were an ordinary prince level foreign race, they would definitely clean up the area around the territory, so there would be no other hidden dangers under their noses. Hey, Fan Zhang smiled wryly and shook his head. I came here for the Monkey Valley this time. I want to occupy that place. Do you have any objections? Lin Yu stated the purpose of his visit this time. Fan Zhang was taken aback for a moment, his thoughts changed sharply. He didn't know why Lin Yu knew that there was a resource territory like Monkey Valley, but this matter had advantages and disadvantages for him. It can help him solve the hidden dangers of Monkey Valley, but at the same time, his existence will also become Lin Yu's hidden dangers. How could someone else be allowed to snore on the side of the couch, let alone a lord who could upgrade his territory? In case Fan Zhang's territory was upgraded one day, and the territory occupied by Lin Yu occupied Monkey Valley, what should we do then? No, I have no objection, but I'm afraid you might have objections. Fan Zhang smiled wryly again, not daring to hide the worries in his heart. In the face of absolute strength, it is best to put away the so-called small thoughts. Hehe, you do have self-knowledge, which is very good. Lin Yu looked at Fan Zhang differently. At the moment, I don't have any thoughts about other lords. It really surprises me that your territory appears here. As long as you don't make trouble for me, I won't do anything to you, okay? Lin Yu said with a smile. At this stage, it seems that there is no benefit in being enemies with other lords, it is purely a waste of energy, although it will not take much time for Lin Yu to solve Fan Zhang in front of him. Moreover, if he occupied the Monkey Valley, it would be tantamount to helping Fan Zhang clean up a hidden danger and giving the other party a chance to develop. The benefits of this were clear to both sides. Coupled with the strength gap between the two sides, as long as Lin Yu occupies this Monkey Valley, Fan Zhang may become another insurance for Lin Yu's territory. I have a blueprint of a special building in my hand, which can be traded to you. Fan Zhang took out a blue drawing with a wry smile. It is said that it is a transaction, but in fact he also knows in his heart that this is equivalent to a protection fee delivered to Lin Yu, allowing him to survive near Lin Yu's territory. A blueprint for a special building. Lin Yu became interested, and the system's transaction prompt appeared in front of him. Lord Fan Zhang requests to trade with you, do you confirm? Trading item, special architectural blueprint, blue. Confirm. Lin Yu chose to confirm, and at the same time he didn't take the other party's drawings for nothing. After thinking for a while, Lin Yu offered a price of gold coins. 50,000 gold coins is nothing to him, but to other lords, it is definitely a huge sum of money. This, boss, you have given too much. Fan Zhang was a little flattered. He was already mentally prepared to give a blue drawing as a protection fee, but he didn't expect Lin Yu to return him gold coins. At present, gold coins are enough to buy many things on the trading platform, and it is even enough to arm a good army. The price of a special architectural blueprint is not certain, but now in comparison, Fan Zhang needs the gold coins more. End of this chapter. Chapter 140. Chapter 140. I'm not the kind of person who would take other people's things for nothing. The gold coins will be regarded as my buying your blueprint. As for whether it is a profit or a loss, you can decide for yourself. Accepting the blue drawing, Lin Yu waved his hand, and then said, grow well. Just to remind you, the novice protection period has passed. The dangers we encounter now are not only those monsters or alien races, but also the local human forces in the Arad continent. Boss Lin Yu, what do you mean? Fan Zhang's eyes widened, and he heard another meaning from Lin Yu's words. Could it be that the native human race in the continent of Arad would also hate foreign lords like them? Fan Zhang was a little confused at first, but soon understood. No matter how big the Arad continent is, it is limited. So many lords pouring in at once may have touched the interests of the local human race in the Arad continent invisibly. Therefore, it is not incomprehensible that these foreign lords will be hated by the native people. After receiving the special building drawings given by Fan Zhang, Lin Yu did not rush to check them. Fan Zhang, I want to go to your territory to rest for a while. I don't know if it is possible. This. Fan Zhang was a little embarrassed. The territory is the foundation of the Lord. Lin Yu's rash proposal made Fan Zhang panic. Let it go. I'll just stay outside for a while, and I promise I won't go in. There was a sincere smile on Lin Yu's face, like a strange sorghum who deceived the little girl. The situation was pressing, and Fan Zhang had no ability to refuse, so he could only agree with a wry smile. Then Lin Yu told Ai's Ideo again. It's not suitable for so many people here. Go back the way you came, and explore around the giant bee forest. It's enough to leave 100 troops. Yes, Lord. Ash took the order, leaving 100 flower girls behind, and then returned with the other flower girls. If there are too many people following, it is easy to scare the snake, but Lin Yu's strength is enough to win Monkey Valley. Afterwards, under the leadership of Fan Zhang, Lin Yu led the troops towards Fan Zhang's territory. Fanzang glanced back at the flower girl who was leaving in a mighty way, couldn't help swallowing again, and muttered. The gap between people is too big. However, Fanzang quickly returned to normal. Now he has dash gold coins in his pocket, which is enough for him to develop well. Master, it's fine to ignore that person, why should I go to his territory? Albedo asked. It doesn't matter if it's because there are other lords here. It's good for me. If something happens to my Monkey Valley, he will definitely be restless. Therefore, he can get a free bodyguard. Why not do it? Going to his territory just saves the time of searching. If something happens in the future, you can quickly find it. Moreover, people from that principality have also entered Grand's forest, just to see if they will come to Monkey Valley. Lin Yu explained with a smile. If he conquered Monkey Valley by himself, Fanzang would be the last person who didn't want to see anything happen to Monkey Valley. And going to Fanzang's territory is also to light up the map, mark the correct coordinates of Fanzang's territory, and wait for the arrival of the Principality of Belmare. By the way, the Monkey Valley is right in front of you, and before you enter, you can hear the cries of monkeys one after another. You have entered the princely alien territory, Monkey Valley, do you want to attack? Lin Yu is naturally not in a hurry to attack Monkey Valley now, but he is surprised that Fanzang's territory is really near Monkey Valley. I saw Fanzang leading Lin Yu and others turning around, sneaking in from the side of Monkey Valley, and then another new world appeared. This is a low basin, with traces of artificial cleaning, hidden on the edge of Monkey Valley. If Fanzang hadn't led the way, it would have been difficult for Lin Yu to discover this hidden place. Although your territory is next to the princely level alien force, it is very secretive. If you handle it properly, this princely level alien force will be your natural shelter. Lin Yu sighed in admiration. Hey, that's why I can't upgrade the territory at all. The last time the Warcraft invasion was almost exposed. Fortunately, the group of Warcraft was solved at the last minute. As Fanzang said, he seemed to recall the danger of the Warcraft invasion. Lin Yu took a look and found that Fanzang did not lie to him, because at this time Fanzang's territory was the same as Lin Yu's original first-level territory, with only a few dilapidated thatched huts. And I didn't see any arms. As for whether there were farmers in those thatched huts, Lin Yu didn't know. In short, I finally met a lord, but I didn't expect it to be such a miserable mess. Boss, there is nothing to entertain in my humble house, so don't hold it against me. Only then did Fanzang remember that his territory was too shabby, and there was nothing he could sell. It's okay, I have something to eat, if you don't mind, let's go together. Lin Yu smiled and took out some jet packages, and at the same time distributed them to his troops. This is so embarrassing. Fanzang shook his head embarrassingly, took Lin Yu's spray package, and by the way gave it to his hero, the strange force orangutan. Then Lin Yu arranged for the extremely beautiful girl to go out to investigate the situation, and the rest began to wait in Fanzang's territory for someone from the Principality of Belmare. Boss Lin Yu, look at your posture, are you ambushing someone? Fanzang asked while eating, feeling that he hadn't eaten such delicious food for a long time. It's okay to tell you, the native human race in the Arad continent should attack us lords. Lin Yu's words were like a lightning strike, which stunned Fanzang. How is it possible? We have always only killed monsters, or dealt with those alien races. We should stand in a united front with the local people in the Arad continent. Why did they deal with us? Fanzang didn't understand and said in doubt. It's easy to understand. You should have heard of a saying, whose cake you moved. Lin Yu smiled, quoting a famous quote from an expert that he often read. Whose cake did I touch? Fanzang fell into deep thought, thinking carefully while eating the jet meal. Suddenly, Fanzang had a flash of inspiration, thinking of Lin Yu's visit to Monkey Valley this time. Lin Yu has already made it clear that he came to occupy Monkey Valley, but he has not done it for a long time, but is waiting for something. Is it because he waited for the Lord to occupy the territory? Report to the Lord, traces of human races have been found outside Monkey Valley. At this moment, the flower girl who went out to investigate came back. Sure enough, Lin Yu cheered up, and he really guessed it right. People in the Principality of Belmar not only want to get their hands on the giant bee forest, but also the Monkey Valley. There may be other resource territories, but these are the only systems that Lin Yu is currently lighting up. Boss Lin Yu, how are you going to deal with those human races? End of this chapter. Chapter 141. Chapter 141, Attacking the Monkey Valley. Fanzang couldn't help asking. Just like Lin Yu at the beginning, he could kill monsters at will when facing monsters, but he would also hesitate when facing his own race. If someone blocked your way forward, what would you choose? Lin Yu asked. Fanzang was stunned, not knowing how to answer. Albedo, let's go and see how strong they are in Monkey Valley. The people who went to the giant bee forest were all poor people who had no fighting power. I don't know what kind of people who come to Monkey Valley will be like. The Monkey Valley is different from the giant bee forest. The giant bee forest is located on a plain and can be sneaked in from all sides. But Monkey Valley can only pass through the terrain like a line of sky on the front, surrounded by high mountains. And the inside of the Beguo monkey is like a human guard, and there are monkeys watching on the Beguo tree all the time. However, when Lin Yu saw the person coming with his own eyes, he was completely disappointed. Because the configuration of the visitors is still the same, at a glance, they are all human races dressed as poor people. It's really disgusting, corrupt noble power. Lin Yu shook his head. This is the nobles, and the lives of the poor are also things that can be used in their eyes, so it is better to cherish resources. Master, do you want to kill all these people too? Albedo licked the corner of her mouth, looking at the thousands of impoverished people who were coming. She seemed very excited. No, this time let's see who is behind those poor people. Lin Yu's eyes moved slightly, and he looked at the poor in the distance. The previous giant bee forest had been occupied by him, so he had to act first. Now Monkey Valley still belongs to Beguo Monkey, so he can wait and see who is behind those poor people. Lin Yu and Albedo were lurking in the dark, and Fan Zhang couldn't help but follow them. He was startled when he saw that there were more poor people than Lin Yu led. But when he scanned the attributes of the visitor, he was relieved. I was scared to death. I thought it was some kind of legion, but it turned out to be just a group of ordinary people. But why would ordinary people come to attack Monkey Valley? After heaving a sigh of relief, Fan Zhang also asked suspiciously. They don't want to attack Monkey Valley, they just want to steal Monkey Valley's monkey wine. Monkey Valley's monkey wine is loved by the nobles of the Principality of Belmare, not to mention that it can strengthen the body after drinking, so it is understandable to be concerned about it. Lin Yu explained. Immediately after seeing the army of poor people walking straight towards the Monkey Valley, without the slightest concealment, there was a lot of movement, and they were soon discovered by the monkeys in the Monkey Valley. It's just that Lin Yu was surprised that no nobles were seen leading this time, only the poor were charging. The monkeys in Monkey Valley are 2 or 3 meters tall, which is half the size of those poor people who are mostly skinny due to malnutrition. In addition, the Beguo monkey is sensitive and powerful, and those poor people only have axes and long swords in their hands. The cumbersome swing not only failed to hurt the Beguo monkey, but was snatched by the Beguo monkey and became a sharp weapon to harvest their lives. Thousands of poor people seem to be bluffing, but they have no combat power, and they are just food delivery. Soon, blood flowed like a river in front of Monkey Valley, and it was bloody. At this moment, Lin Yu moved his ears, heard the sound of something approaching rapidly, and subconsciously looked up. I saw a group of griffins flying in the air, and each griffin carried a knight in battle armor on its back. This griffin team had a clear goal, without the slightest hesitation, and without even looking at the dead poor below, they rushed straight to Monkey Valley. The fruit monkeys below naturally also found this airstrike griffin team, and followed the griffins back to the Monkey Valley with strange screams, leaving behind a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, and some poor people who have survived and gone crazy. It's too bloody. Fan Zhang was a little scared, his hands were trembling unconsciously. Witnessing a fight with one's own eyes undoubtedly has a huge impact on the soul. Such things should happen everywhere in Grand's Forest. There are 2 countries near Grand's Forest, one is the Principality of Belmare, and the other is the Peruse Empire. Perhaps in the not-too-distant future, we lords of Grand's Forest will fight them. Lin Yu gave a proper reminder. Those griffins are pretty good. It's very convenient to drive the troops. It's a pity that there are no professions like animal trainers in the current territory. Looking at the team of griffins that went deep into Monkey Valley, Lin Yu also came out from the dark. It's time to end. Boss Lin Yu, are you going to go in directly? Fan Zhang asked aside. I don't need to do it myself, my summoned beast is enough. Lin Yu waved his big hand, blood filled the air, and overwhelming blood bats appeared with flapping their wings, a large dense area, as if they wanted to cover the sky and the sun. This number, at least tens of thousands, made Fan Zhang's scalp tingle. Are you kidding me? This is called a summoned beast? There should not be a limit on the number of summoned beasts, a few at a time, a dozen or so will be enough. But Lin Yu's summons cost tens of thousands, which is enough to fill the Monkey Valley. Go, kill all the monkeys and humans in this valley. With Lin Yu's order, the army of blood bats entered the Monkey Valley in a mighty manner, directly turning the entire Monkey Valley from day to night. Countless wailing came out, and Fan Zhang's scalp tingled when he heard it. When the voice was completely silent, the system prompt also appeared in front of Lin Yu's eyes. Congratulations on successfully breaking through the Prince-level forces and obtaining the Energy Heart X1. You have successfully breached the Monkey Valley. Do you occupy it? Occupied. You successfully occupied the Monkey Valley? Because of this building, it is outside your territory. Within 7 days, if no troops are stationed, it will become a land without owner. This territory is within the territory of other lords. Please pay attention. Attribute data has been generated. Please check it. Monkey Valley. Area, 25 miles. Output, 500 monkey wine/day. Recruitment of arms, Beguo monkey, 50 gold coins/day. Special effect, 10% chance to get high-quality monkey wine. Garrison arms, none. That's it, is it over? That's a princely power. Fan Zhang, who witnessed all this with his own eyes, was completely stunned, and some small thoughts in his heart were completely given up. What a joke, he solved a large number of princely monkeys without firing a single soldier, or even signing off. This kind of strength is far beyond his reach. Moreover, the gap between each other will only increase. Boss, how many arms do you plan to recruit? If you need help, I can also take care of it. Fan Zhang said proactively. Lin Yu glanced at the other party and replied with a smile. That's not necessary. As long as there are no strong enemies, recruiting 1,000 units should be enough. Lin Yu directly recruited 1,000 Beguo monkeys. The light fell, and 1,000 fruit monkeys appeared in front of Lin Yu. End of this chapter. Chapter 142 Chapter 142 The Journey of the Empire. Join the Lord. What surprised Lin Yu was that these Beguo monkeys could speak human words. It seems that the increase in strength will also open up the wisdom of the monkey like a monster. Well, I named you Sun Wukong, and from now on, you will be the leader of the monkeys in Monkey Valley with all kinds of fruits. Lin Yu ordered the strongest looking Beguo monkey, and the Beguo monkey who was named by Lin Yu replied with a surprised face, scratching his ears and cheeks. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the name. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the name. Sun Wukong, is there something wrong with this name? Fan Zhang was a little speechless. Okay, Monkey King, you lead the monkeys to clean up Monkey Valley. After arranging for Monkey King to wait for the monkeys to clean up the battlefield, Lin Yu came to Monkey Valley. I tasted the monkey wine from Monkey Valley, it was really good, and its own attributes have also become stronger. Fan Zhang, the matter of Monkey Valley has been resolved for you, and you will have the opportunity to develop well in the future. The matter in Monkey Valley was resolved, and Lin Yu was about to leave to continue expanding his territory. Thank you, Boss Lin Yu, don't worry, the main thing is that I, Fan Zhang, will definitely guard Monkey Valley for you for a day. Fan Zhang made a statement immediately. Thank you then. Lin Yu nodded. Then he led Albedo and others to leave Monkey Valley. For a period of time after that, Lin Yu's troops fought everywhere, and a radius of 50 miles had been completely reduced to Lin Yu's territory, and there were no other foreign forces. But within a radius of 50 miles of Lin Yu's territory, except for the Lord Fan Zhang, he never met other lords. Another day passed. Now I also have 7 energy hearts in my hand, let's continue to upgrade the territory first. Lin Yu stood on the city wall, looking at his territory. Since occupying Monkey Valley, Lin Yu has occupied 7 more princely alien territories, and now he has a total of 9 energy hearts on his body. You can also consider upgrading a wave of territories. You have consumed 7,850 gold coins, 7,850 stone materials, 7,850 wood, 5,650 fine iron, energy heart x2, and successfully upgraded the territory to LV8. The territory was upgraded, white light fell, covering all of Lin Yu's territory, and the scope of the territory was expanding rapidly. The 8th level territory consumes 2 energy hearts, while the 9th level energy requires 3 energy hearts. Lin Yu had enough gold coins in his hands, and directly purchased a large amount of wood and other materials on the system's trading platform to continue upgrading the territory. Territory upgrade, current level LV9. Upgrading the territory to level 10 requires 4 hearts of energy, which happens to be all of Lin Yu's remaining inventory. Continue to upgrade. Territory upgrade, current level LV10. After directly upgrading from the 7th level territory to the 10th level territory, a large amount of white light fell, and as the scope of the territory continued to expand, buildings rose from the ground, and the scope of the city wall was also expanding. What happened? This white light is so similar to our stronger white light. The territory is expanding. The city wall has also become much bigger. My lord is amazing, this is a miracle. White light enveloped the territory, the earth trembled, and various buildings rose from the ground. This situation was naturally seen by all arms. Those veterans were already mentally prepared, and they were not surprised, but the newly recruited soldiers were stunned, and the shock in their hearts was indescribable. Region-wide announcement, Lord Lin Yu has successfully raised his territory to LV10, and the Empire will soon start fighting for hegemony. The system's district-wide announcements appear directly in the system prompts of all lords. 10th level territory, what an exaggerated level, just like the Lord Fan Zhang I met before Lin Yu occupied Monkey Valley, his territory had never been upgraded. A level 10 territory, what is that concept? My current territory is only level 4. Is this going to start a new era with the power of one person? By the way, is there any lord of the 10th level territory? So many lords died in the Warcraft invasion that just ended. How many lords will die in this imperial hegemony? I said, shouldn't you be worried about one thing? Lin Yu's territory is getting bigger and bigger. Will it eventually swallow our territory one day? The lords in the chat area are still amazed, and some lords with a keen sense of smell have already realized the crisis. When the territory is upgraded to level 10, the scope of the territory must be very large. If this continues, Lin Yu's territory will expand to their territory sooner or later, and even their territory will be swallowed together. When the sense of crisis came, Lin Yu's existence was like a big knife, hanging over the heads of other lords at all times. On Lin Yu's side, a series of system prompts appeared. Congratulations on successfully upgrading your territory to level 10. You have obtained a gem box, large, X3, a territory shield X1, and an empire command X1. Reminder, since your territory has been upgraded to level 10, you have already met the ranks of building an empire, and now start the empire hegemony. Reminder, your territory will be converted into an empire, and you will have a chance to name it. The establishment and name of the empire will be known to all races in the Arad continent. After Lin Yu checked all the system messages one by one, the reward of upgrading to the 10th level territory was beyond Lin Yu's imagination. But now the system in front of Lin Yu has been unable to close. It is his own territory. No, it is the empire now. Lin Yu needs to rename his empire. The establishment of an empire cannot be completed overnight, and the establishment of an empire is bound to be known by all races on the continent. But now with the intervention of the system, the huge light above the empire almost reaches into the sky, and it is difficult not to be known. The name of the empire. Lin Yu thought for a while, and quickly entered the name of his empire into the system. IWC. A country of 10,000 races, peaceful coexistence, represents that Lin Yu wants to conquer all races, recruit them all as his own arms, and integrate them into an empire? The empire was named successfully. Your empire has been responded by the continent of Arad, and the surrounding forces will sense the existence of your empire? Reminder, the empire hegemony has started, engulf other empires and integrate into your territory? As the territory rose to level 10, Lin Yu's territory had completely turned into an empire, just like the Principality of Belmer or the Perus Empire, known by everyone on the continent of Arad. At the same time, the capital of the Principality of Belmer was far away in Hutton March. This is the deepest part of the palace, the secret place of the royal family of the Principality of Belmer. In the pitch-black environment, a series of sporadic lights suddenly lit up. An old voice said calmly, "A new empire has been born. It's a pity that the gates of the heavens have been closed. No matter how powerful the empires of the earth are, they can't live forever. They are just a phantom after all. And the empire of Perus, the kingdom of the dark elves, and the kingdom of spiders." End of this chapter. Chapter 143. Chapter 143. The founding of the nations. Each of these countries has its own antiques. They are old antiques that have existed since the time when the heaven and earth were not separated, and they know many secrets. The establishment of a real empire is not just lip service, but also requires the recognition of the earth, so that such an empire can have the opportunity to merge into the heavens and achieve eternal life. And the new empire has not appeared for a long, long time, especially after the celestial passage was shattered. And Lin Yu's current 10th level territory has such qualifications. It's a pity that the passage to the heavens has been cut off now, and people from the earth can't enter the heavens. The so-called eternal life has become a dream. Therefore, the appearance of Wanguo also attracted the attention of other imperial forces. Without Lin Yu's knowledge, some big figures had secretly dispatched secret guards Anze and the like to sneak into Grand's forest to investigate Lin Yu's Wanguo. The naming of the empire has been completed, but the white light has not dissipated, and the changes in the empire still exist. Everything is going smoothly. Lin Yu was still standing on the city wall, feeling the changes in the city wall under his feet. A smile could not help showing on his face. Now is the real start. The previous territory was for children to play house. Lin Yu opened the system package and checked the 3 rewards he got. Gem box, large. Quality, orange. Hint, you can get a rare gem x 1000 after using it. Treasure gems? This is a good thing. I am worried that I can't find the space stone and magic stone needed to build the teleportation circle. With this, we can successfully build a teleportation circle. Lin Yu was overjoyed, and then looked at the other 2 props. Territory shield. Quality, gold. Hint, nostalgic for the invincible novice protection period. Use it, it will bring you absolute safety for 7 days. The novice protection period? 7 days? This is definitely a super artifact. This good thing can play an absolute role at critical moments. Compared with cherishing gems, Lin Yu is more surprised by this invincible artifact, which can allow Lin Yu's territory to regain a 7-day novice protection period. During these 7 days, he does not have to worry about any crisis in the territory. Then came the last reward item released by the system. Imperial Order. Quality, gold. Hint, the highest symbol of the empire. You can bind it to a hero and become the symbol of the empire. The bound hero will be blessed with the power of the empire and improve the quality of a hero. Upgrade a hero's quality. There is only one explanation left in Lin Yu's eyes. There is no limit, no time limit. As long as the empire exists, the heroes bound by the empire's command can upgrade a hero's quality. The first thing Lin Yu thought of was Albedo. Albedo has not improved for a long time since her quality has been promoted to the demigod level. The Imperial Order is undoubtedly the most worthwhile to use on Albedo. Albedo has followed Lin Yu from the beginning, and has always been thinking of Lin Yu in everything, and regards Lin Yu as her everything. Now that there is an opportunity to improve Albedo's quality to a higher level, Lin Yu naturally has no reason not to. Very good. If the Imperial Order can really improve Albedo's quality, it means that there will be an existence on my side at the Holy Glory level, who is equivalent to the evil god that Rias mentioned. The 3 rewards were so generous that it was unbelievable that Lin Yu couldn't stop the excitement in his heart anymore, and laughed wildly. However, the next moment, the system prompts in front of Lin Yu kept popping up, and they were all reminders of the death of lords. Lord Guy was wiped out by the Principality of Belmar. Lord Andy was wiped out by the Perus Empire. Lord Anna was wiped out by the Dark Elf Kingdom. Lin Yu has also seen many reminders that the Lord was killed, but it is different from the current one. Almost all the ones that pop up now are wiped out by the Empire, which also represents the fact that the Empire has taken action. It is no longer ordinary monsters or alien forces, but now the native human races of the Arad continent and various huge imperial forces have taken action. But before the start of the imperial hegemony, there was never any news that the Lord was wiped out by any empire. It seems that I accidentally did something terrible again. Looking at the system prompts that were constantly being refreshed, Lin Yu could only pray for them silently in his heart. With the opening of the Empire's hegemony, it is unknown how many lords will die. This world is like the Middle Ages, where bloodlines and orthodoxy are highly valued. Like Lin Yu before, he was not recognized by any empire at all. The self-proclaimed lord will naturally be suppressed by them. And once it reaches the 10th level of territory and becomes an empire, those imperial powers will be able to face it squarely, and have the qualifications to wrestle with the opponent, so that they dare not easily send troops to attack. However, these are not something I can consider. I hope they can step up their pace and become stronger. Lin Yu turned off all system prompts and checked his territory attributes. No, it should be called Empire Attributes now. IWC. Empire Level, LV10. Population Limit, 175/10000. Empire Territory, 100 miles. Special Buildings, Devil Training Camp, Washing House, Spirit Field, Territory Teleportation Array, Unbuilt. Basic Resources, 310 million gold coins, 50 stone, 175 wood, 5 refined iron. Rare Resources, Spirit Water x250, Magic Crystal x30, Earth Spirit Crystal x75. Occupying Forces, Swanyu Lake, Swamp, Lost Mining Field, Beastman Tribe, Flower Valley, DeLong Lake, Blue Silver Valley, Monkey Valley. Reminder, to upgrade to a level 11 territory, you need to consume 2W gold coins, 2W stone materials, 2W wood, 1W fine iron, magic stone x100, and energy heart x5. The range of 100 miles is only the size of a county town. My empire has just started. Besides, 100 magic stones are needed to upgrade to the 11th level territory. I still don't know where to get magic stones. What a headache. Lin Yu said with emotion. Although his territory has become an empire, compared to other empires that have developed on the Arad continent for an unknown number of years, his empire is still pitifully small. Even Gran's forest couldn't take it all. And one thing Lin Yu has always been curious about is what will happen to the other territories he occupies. His mind changed sharply, and the system map appeared in front of Lin Yu. The red dot in the center is his own 10,000 kingdoms. After Lin Yu enlarged it, those territories that were once occupied by him, but could not be accommodated because the territory was too small, have all been included in his own 10,000 kingdoms at this moment. And Fan Zhang sighed. Boss Lin Yu, my territory seems to be covered by you. An email came. It was Fan Zhang's message. Will the empire's territory cover other lords? Lin Yu thought for a moment, and replied. The system will definitely not sit back and watch this kind of bug-like existence, and props that can move the territory may appear in the future. Fan Zhang over there. End of this chapter. Chapter 144 The Role of Imperial Orders. Is there still a prop that can move the territory? But that's right, it's not normal to not have that kind of prop. Fan Zhang shook his head and let go of his worries. Now he is only a second-level territory, and he is worried that these are too far away. And it's not all bad things in Lin Yu's territory of all nations, at least before Lin Yu fell, his safety was greatly guaranteed. However, there is one thing that I am still a little confused about. According to the system, if the territory is destroyed, the lord will also die. So how can my 10,000 kingdoms be defined as the territory being destroyed? Lin Yu was a little puzzled. Standing on the city wall, inside the city wall were continuous buildings, and there were already signs of a city, and the only thing missing now was the population. If the main city of the empire is destroyed, it will be regarded as the loss of the territory, and the lord will die. As if hearing Lin Yu's doubts, the system gave a reminder. So that's it, then the area under my feet is the so-called main city. Lin Yu nodded, looking at the stretch of buildings in front of him. This is the main city of his own kingdom. No wonder Lin Yu always felt that the expansion range of the city wall was far less than 100 miles. It turned out that it was restricted by the main city. With Lin Yu's main city as the center, the extension of 100 miles is Lin Yu's current empire territory. In the future, if Lin Yu's main city is lost, he will also be wiped out by accepting death. The nations of the world have taken shape, various buildings have been systematically improved, and the population limit has been expanded to dash. The ordinary buildings in the territory have also undergone considerable changes. But now Lin Yu's focus is undoubtedly the rest of the empire, trying to annex them. Master, the scope of the territory has expanded again. Albedo did not know when she came to Lin Yu's back. Her hands embraced Lin Yu from behind, and her perfect body was completely pressed against Lin Yu. After getting along with Albedo during this period of time, the relationship between the two parties has reached its peak unconsciously. After some sunlight, the surrounding white light has dissipated, and the transformation of the empire has been completely completed. Albedo, I have an item that can allow you to improve your strength again. Lin Yu took out the Imperial command from the system package. This is a pitch-black badge with 2 words engraved on it, Wanguo. Master, you should use the props that can improve your strength on yourself. It's not worth using them on Albedo. Albedo leaned in Lin Yu's arms. No, it's not that easy for me to improve my strength. Relatively speaking, Albedo's improvement in your strength can help me more. Lin Yu pinched Albedo's little face and said with a smile. Come on, this is an imperial order. As long as it is bound to you, you will be the spiritual symbol of our empire from now on. By the way, our territory has now become an empire. I will name it Wanguo, how about it? Wow, has our territory become an empire? That's great. Albedo also showed joy on her face, she was sincerely happy for Lin Yu. It is the best enjoyment for Albedo to be able to witness her master's step-by-step improvement and expand the territory. But master, do you really want to use such a precious item on Albedo? After she was overjoyed, Albedo asked again. Well, I've decided. Lin Yu nodded, no longer hesitated, and directly used the Imperial command. You are about to use the Imperial command to bind the hero as Albedo, are you sure? Confirm. You have used the Imperial command to bind the hero as Albedo. A golden light fell, instantly separating Lin Yu and Albedo herself was also covered by the golden light. The strength is constantly increasing, and Albedo's aura is also constantly rising. Everything was proceeding in an orderly manner, until a red figure floated beside Lin Yu. You're going to be promoted. How is it possible? The passage to the heavens disappears, and it is impossible for the creatures in the earth to break through to the demigod level and be promoted to Shenjao. The person who came was Rias. She was attracted by Albedo who was about to be promoted to heroic quality, so she appeared next to Lin Yu. Yo, it turned out to be a little vampire, why did it attract you here? Lin Yu teased that the previous territory had changed so much that it didn't attract Rias, but now Albedo was about to be promoted, but she attracted Rias. Since Rias came to Lin Yu's territory, she has been staying in her blood castle, and this is the first time she has seen her appear in so many days. He thought Rias would stay in the blood castle until he went to find her. Little vampire. It's really an apt description. Rias was stunned for a moment, then covered her mouth and smiled lightly. My lord, I'm curious, how did this Albedo under your command manage to break through to the demigod level? Also, it's unbelievable why there is such a miraculous change in your territory. Hihi, of course it's because of my super tonic, which gives Albedo tonic every day, which makes Albedo promoted to the holy glory level. As for the territory, it is already an empire now, 10,000 nations. Lin Yu did not mention the existence of the imperial order, which is difficult to explain to people other than the lord. By the way, I also told about the things about Wangguo. Super tonic? Wangguo? What is that? Rias was lost in thought. Master, I seem to smell something delicious. There was another burst of girls' cheers, and it was accompanied by a burst of frogs. Lin Yu looked around, and saw little Jelly riding a three-legged golden toad up the city wall. As soon as the three-legged golden toad saw Lin Yu, he immediately shook off the little Jelly on his back excitedly, and fell in front of Lin Yu with a jump. When the pink and tender long tongue rolled, it was about to lick Lin Yu's face. I'll go, I haven't seen you for a few days, why is it still such a virtue? Lin Yu was startled, and just about to avoid it, a slender hand reached out from Lin Yu's side, and reached out to grab the long pink and tender tongue of the three-legged golden toad. Hee, big toad, as a mount, don't have delusions about its master. Albedo's voice sounded, and just listening to this voice, it was as if she saw an overpowering beauty, swaying her perfect figure, walking towards her. Quack quack. The three-legged golden toad let out a few frog sounds from its throat with difficulty, and its golden skin was almost turned red. Irreverent mount. Albedo pulled the three-legged golden toad's long tongue fiercely a few times before throwing it out. End of this chapter. Chapter 145 Charming Emperor, Shenjao Class. Albedo, have you successfully advanced to the Shenjao level? Lin Yu looked at Albedo in surprise, he didn't expect the promotion to be so fast this time, as if it was just promoted from the ordinary level to the elite level. And it doesn't look like much has changed from the outside, but Albedo's aura has changed a lot. Well, I have been promoted successfully, master, if that evil god dares to come, Albedo will definitely cut off his head. Albedo showed a smile, it was so touching. Very good, the combat power of Shenjao level is enough to run wild in the world. Lin Yu murmured, and then checked Albedo's attributes. Charm Emperor Albedo. Quality, Shenjao grade. Race, Demon race. Level, LV 70. Life, 100. Attack, 10. Defense, 8.5 million. Weapon, none. Armor, lace breastplate, blue. Wrist guard, none. Belt, none. Bottoms, none. Boots, none. Accessory, Abyss Nirvana, orange. Special equipment, Empire Command golden. Skill 1, Charm of Nature, Albedo's charm is released all the time, can charm enemy units at will, making them lose their desire to fight. Skill 2, Nankyaiman, Albedo can enter the dream consciousness of other creatures, and the creatures that die in dream consciousness will die simultaneously in reality. Skill 3, Combat Stance, Albedo enters the combat stance, changes equipment, weapons, attributes are greatly improved. Skill 4, Bicorn, the exclusive mount of the succubus, only the succubus can ride. Skill 5, Kingdom of Daughters, Albedo summons 10,000 succubi to form a kingdom of succubus and capture the enemy's soul. Passive skill, Life Essence Extraction, succubus exclusive passive skill, can be transformed into its own experience by absorbing life essence, enhance its own attributes, and improve the quality of heroes. Passive skill, Holy Brilliance Domain, the exclusive domain where the Holy Brilliance level exists, all attributes in the domain will be greatly improved, and the Holy Brilliance level located in the Holy Brilliance domain cannot be killed. After reading Albedo's attributes, Lin Yu's chin could hardly be closed, strong, against the sky. The attributes of all aspects have been enhanced several times, and there is also an active skill and a passive skill. Looking at Albedo's fifth skill, the introduction of Daughter Kingdom, Lin Yu couldn't help imagining the scene, one succubi swaying in various shapes. This might be heaven. There is also the passive skill, Shenjeo Domain. The Shenjeo level in the Shenjeo Domain is an immortal existence. Is this why Rias is afraid of that evil god? A strong man who can't be killed and has surpassed the demigod level. I am afraid that he really has no opponent in the world. How could it be possible to be promoted so quickly? The passage to the heavens disappeared, and you lack the energy of the sky, so it is logically impossible to be promoted. Rias on the side was also in shock. She is also a demigod-level existence, so she naturally knows how difficult it is to improve after a demigod. After crossing this hurdle, one can even stand shoulder to shoulder with a real god. A demigod is only a demigod after all, and Shenjeo is the starting point for transcendence and holiness? It's all thanks to the master. Albedo raised her head proudly, took Lin Yu's arm very naturally, and hugged her in her arms, as if swearing her sovereignty. Feeling the softness around him, Lin Yu also smiled and rubbed Albedo. Okay, now that we have Albedo as a wholly brilliant level being in charge, there shouldn't be any forces on the border of the Arad continent that will rashly attack us. Well, although I really don't want to admit it, the combat power of the Shenjeo class is enough to walk sideways across the boundary. Rias agreed. Very well, then, it's time to fulfill the promise. Lin Yu smiled brightly. He has not forgotten that there is also a Miss Maria in Wanqia's Hong. The next step is to build the territory teleportation array first. Lin Yu is still looking forward to this special building. Leaving with Albedo and the others temporarily, Lin Yu chose an open area in the main city of all nations. Then Lin Yu had 2 more treasure boxes in his hands. Gem box, large. Quality, orange. Hint, you can get a rare gem x 1000 after using it. 1000 magic stones and space stones are needed to build a territory teleportation array, and Lin Yu has no clue about these 2 precious gemstones. Fortunately, the gem box was rewarded for upgrading the territory this time, which solved Lin Yu's urgent need. You used gem box, large, you got magic stone x 1000. You used gem box, large, you got space stone x 1000. Lin Yu directly used 2 gem boxes, and chose space stone and magic stone. As for the remaining gem box, Lin Yu chose to keep it temporarily in case of emergency. So far, the materials for building the teleportation array have been collected, and the location has been selected, which is in this open space next to the barracks. Calling up the system panel, Lin Yu directly chose the characteristic building that has not yet been built, the territory teleportation array. If you choose to build a territory teleportation array, it will consume x10W gold coins, x5000 stone materials, x3000 refined iron, x1000 space stones, and x1000 magic stones. Are you sure? Confirm. You have consumed gold coins x10W, stone materials x5000, refined iron x3000, space stones x1000, magic stones x1000, and the construction of the territory teleportation array has begun? White light fell and landed on the open space in front of him, and a magic circle appeared out of thin air. The mysterious law is outlined in it, and the runes like ghostly drawn symbols are constantly agglomerating, and waves of space fluctuations appear. A pitch-black space portal appeared out of thin air, and below the portal was a circular abutment. Territory teleportation array, successfully built? It is detected that the Lord's territory has been promoted to the Empire, and the territory teleportation array is automatically promoted to the Empire's teleportation platform. Imperial teleportation platform. Quality, orange. Description, the Empire goes on an expedition, not a single blade of grass grows, only the most powerful Empire is qualified to build, soldiers are expensive and fast, master the Empire's teleportation platform, find out the enemy's coordinates in the morning, and teleport to the enemy at night. Purpose, expedition, teleportation. Reminder, every time you open the Empire teleportation platform, you need to consume space stones. If the space stones are not enough, you can use gold coins to temporarily replace them. The purpose of the transmission needs to be confirmed by coordinate points. Great, the teleportation array I've been longing for is finally here. Now it's much more convenient to go out. Lin Yu excitedly opened the Imperial teleportation platform, and entered all the coordinates on the system map into it. I heard you were looking for me. Maria came swaying, wearing the cheongsam she wore when they met for the first time. After stroking her hair, Maria looked at the Imperial teleportation platform naturally, and said in surprise, "This is the teleportation array." End of this chapter. Chapter 146 Sharing Coordinates. Hey, that's right, this is the Empire teleportation platform. With it, you can quickly teleport to other places in the future. But you are really well informed, you can tell it is a teleportation array at a glance. Lin Yu nodded. With this Empire teleportation platform, he can temporarily get rid of the shackles of the Empire and go to a distant place. I've seen quite a few of them in the GB church. Maria walked to the side of the Empire's teleportation platform, and reached out to touch the dark stone wall. The materials are ordinary and there is nothing outstanding, but the construction skills are at the master level. This kind of Imperial teleportation platform may be able to directly teleport to the heavens. After some inspection, Maria came up with such an astonishing answer. It is unbelievable that the most common materials can actually construct a magic circle with a super long teleportation distance. That's right, with this teleportation platform, I'm ready to set off to help you find the flying Magda ship that can go to the back of the Skyval giant beast. Lin Yu nodded. Really? Maria's face was filled with surprise. It had always been her wish to return to the GB religion. Although it hadn't been long since she left the Lost Temple, Maria's inner expectations had not diminished. Of course it is true, otherwise why would I ask you? You should make some preparations, and we will set off immediately after I explain the affairs of the Empire. After hearing this, Maria left excitedly, leaving only Lin Yu to stay where she was. Well, next, upgrade the barracks and farmhouse. The farmhouse and barracks have not been upgraded for a long time. This time the territory has been transformed into an empire, and it is time to upgrade these two basic buildings. Due to insufficient materials, Lin Yu had to go to the trading market to buy. At present, the sales volume of refined iron is still very small, and refined iron is not a product that can be produced directly by mining, it needs blueprint synthesis. The price of iron ore needed to synthesize refined iron is not low, so as time goes by, and many lords need refined iron to upgrade their territories, the price of refined iron becomes more and more expensive. Lin Yu strolled around the trading platform. Because his Mickey Mouse house hadn't opened for a long time, the sales had already been surpassed by other lords. Now the one ranked first on the list is the little rich woman Qianjiyu. So Lin Yu naturally contacted Qianjiyu. This little rich woman seems to have a lot of refined iron reserves, and her birth point seems to be a mine, a proper Tianhu start. Lin Yu, little rich woman, some refined iron? Qianjiyu, haven't contacted for a few days, are you itchy, dare to talk to my old lady like that? Qianjiyu replied quickly, making Lin Yu couldn't help wondering if this little rich woman was just guarding in front of the system. Lin Yu, do you want to do a business, let's get some refined iron? Qianjiyu, don't do it, fuck off, and didn't my old lady give you the blueprint for making refined iron, go digging yourself? Oh, this little rich woman's temper is still as hot as ever. Looking at Qianjiyu's reply, Lin Yu was very helpless. When I was about to go to the trading platform to buy refined iron, the system received a transaction request. Qianjiyu, how much refined iron do you want? Lin Yu, first come AW meaning. Qianjiyu, AW, are you crazy? Qianjiyu on the other side looked at the message sent by Lin Yu in disbelief. A piece of ordinary iron ore costs 5 gold coins, while refined iron synthesized from iron ore is more expensive, about -gold coins. The high price of refined iron is also the reason why most ordinary lords cannot upgrade their territories, and they simply cannot afford it. And for 100 refined iron, even if Qianjiyu only gave Lin Yu the cheapest price, he would need at least -million gold coins. Is Lin Yu so rich? Qianjiyu couldn't help but wonder, could this guy want to prostitute herself for nothing again? Lin Yu directly traded 200 million gold coins in the past. As long as Lin Yu wants to do something like gold coins, he can refine some monsters casually and there will be a large amount of them in the account, so he doesn't care at all. This guy really has 200 million gold coins. Inside Qinjiyu's mine. After Qianjiyu's heroic golden pangolin and the efforts of recruiting troops, a large open space has been developed in the huge mine at this time. The huts are located in the mines. Although the sun can't shine in the mines, there are glowing gems embedded in the top of the mines, which illuminate the originally dark mines like daylight. I've worked so hard to dig mines, and my assets are only in the early 200 million. This guy is 200 million when he makes a move. It's unreasonable. Qianjiyu was a little hurt in her heart, but Lin Yu had already given out 200 million gold coins, and Qianjiyu was not angry, and directly traded AW of refined iron. After the transaction was completed, Lin Yu was in a good mood. Remembering that he owed Qianjiyu a favor before, he added another sentence. Lin Yu, little rich woman, if you trust me, you can give me a coordinate point near you, and I can come to help you if you have difficulties. Qianjiyu, what do you mean, can you still fly over here? Qianjiyu looked at Lin Yu's words suspiciously. She was not worried that Lin Yu would be unfavorable to him. Although she hadn't met Lin Yu yet, Qianjiyu still trusted Lin Yu's personality. Lin Yu, well, you should have seen the system prompt, right? My territory has been promoted to an empire. I named it Wonguo, and then built an empire teleportation platform. As long as I have coordinates, I can teleport to the coordinate point at any time. In addition, the various empires in the continent of Arad are also very likely to attack us lords, you'd better be careful. So that's it, this guy even has a teleportation table, I'm so envious. But if the empire really attacks us lords, my situation seems very dangerous. Near Qinjiyu's territory is a continuous stretch of gold and iron mines, all of which are rare minerals, but they have not been discovered by the empire. But if someone finds out, her cave heaven and paradise will instantly become a favorite of various empires. Lord Qianjiyu is sharing the system coordinates with you, do you accept it? A system message unfolded in front of Lin Yu. Lin Yu was taken aback, shook his head and smiled bitterly. This little rich woman really doesn't have the slightest awareness of precautions. This kind of thing can be exposed casually. Accept. You have accepted the shared coordinate point of Lord Qinjiyu, which has been included in the system map. Following the system prompt, Lin Yu immediately opened the system map. Sure enough, another dark area was unlocked on the system map, which was exactly where Qianjiyu was. It is some distance away from Lin Yu's position. If there is no Imperial teleportation platform, it will take several days to catch up. Accepting Qianjiyu's coordinates, she can also help Qianjiyu when she is in danger, and return favors. Then Lin Yu asked Qianjiyu again, after all, this is a little rich woman, and Lin Yu didn't want to see her accident. End of this chapter. Chapter 147 The Divine Machine Battalion and the Hall of Heroes. The matter of Jingtai and Qianjiyu was settled. Lin Yu then bought some other resources, and his remaining gold coins were almost bottomed out. Upgrade barracks and farmhouses to the highest level. Lin Yu issued an automatic upgrade command at the system. Your barracks has been upgraded to LV7. Your barracks has been upgraded to LV10. It is detected that the Lord has established the 10,000 kingdoms, and the barracks will be automatically promoted to the Divine Machine Battalion. Your farmhouse has been upgraded to LV7. Your farmhouse has been upgraded to LV10. It is detected that the Lord has established a kingdom, and the farmhouse is automatically promoted to the Hall of Heroes. The barracks and farmhouses are the same as the territory. After upgrading to level 10, they are automatically promoted to the level that matches the Empire. The nearby Shenji battalion was illuminated by light, and the Hall of Heroes in the distance also changed. When the light disappeared, a brand new Shenjiying appeared in front of Lin Yu. It was as huge as a palace, and the plaque at the entrance was hung with the 3 characters of Shenjiying. The Hall of Heroes in the distance is similar in style. Not bad, this is in line with Wanguo's identity. Lin Yu nodded in satisfaction. The territory was promoted to an empire, and there should indeed be a corresponding organization. If it is still farmhouses and barracks, it cannot keep up with the operation of the empire. Standing next to Shenjiying, the first thing Lin Yu checked was the attributes of Shenjiying. Shenji Battalion LV10. Description: after paying gold coins, excellent units can be recruited. Currently recruitable arms: Black Abyss Shield, Guardian Elf, Blood Shadow Assassin, Dark Knight, Elementary Magician. Recruitment price depends on the type of arms. Upgrading to LV11 requires 1.5 W gold coins, 1.5 W wood, 1.5 W stone, 2000 refined iron, and Imperial Merit X100. After the barracks was promoted to the Divine Machine Battalion, apart from the original types of arms remaining unchanged, 2 new types of arms were added, namely the Dark Knight and the Elementary Magician. The Dark Knight is a unit like cavalry, and the Junior Magician is a unit that can use some junior magicians, both of which are very powerful. In the continent of Arad, the proportion of magicians is still relatively small. Only a small number of talents with magical talents can become magicians. Moreover, to upgrade the Shenji Battalion to the next level, there is actually one more requirement: Imperial Merit. Lin Yu has never even heard of this thing, let alone get it. He can only ask the system. System, what is this Imperial Merit? Empire Merit is the reward obtained by the Empire after the expedition. The Empire that went to the mainland of Arad or the Empire of other lords, and finally counted the meritorious service of the warring states. I see. After listening to the system's explanation, Lin Yu nodded thoughtfully. This is really in line with the system's consistent style, and it also corresponds to the opening of the Age of Empires. After the territory is promoted to an empire, the system will not allow you to enjoy all this comfortably. It is to give enough benefits to other lords through a series of means such as imperial merits, so that the lords can fight each other. Even if you are not approached by the empire of the Arad continent, sooner or later you will be approached by other lords who want to become stronger, go to the empire, and get imperial merits. If you think about it further, maybe it will be raised by some lords who have completely liberated their nature, and become a resource package that provides imperial merits. However, I don't have the idea of going to the Empire yet, and it seems that I won't be able to remind the Shenji Battalion and the Hall of Heroes for a while. Lin Yu walked in the direction of the Hall of Heroes. Since the advancement of the Divine Machine Battalion requires Imperial Merit, then the Hall of Heroes should also require Imperial Merit to upgrade. At the gate of the Hall of Heroes, 3 women appeared here. One is dressed like a secretary, wearing a black coat on the upper body, and a white shirt with lace under the coat. And because the shirt has 2 buttons, it looks even more majestic. She was wearing a black dress, the skirt only reached 2 inches above the knees, and her plump thighs could be seen. The legs were wrapped in flesh-colored transparent stockings, and paired with a pair of black high-heeled sandals, she looked very glamorous and sexy. One seemed to be a female officer, wearing a simple green uniform, combing a single ponytail, and looking heroic. The remaining one looked much wilder, dressed like a hunter, wearing a leopard leather jacket, as if it was made of the fur of a monster. The 3 women have their own characteristics, and Lin Yu's appearance made the 3 women look at him at the same time. Hey, just upgraded and refreshed 3 talents with special occupations. Lin Yu was a little surprised. The previous farmhouse refreshed some unique talents every day. And every day, there will be people waiting here, explaining some things about the territory to the newly refreshed talents. But a lot of things happened today, which caused other people in the territory to gather together for the time being. Hi 3, I am the leader of the nations, the leader, whatever you want to call it. In short, welcome to Wanguo, my dear. Lin Yu greeted the 3 newcomers warmly. My lord, hello, the 3 said in unison. The secretary among them was a bit restrained, the female officer stood up straight, and the wild huntress was a little casual. But the loyalty of the 3 is beyond doubt. After a brief acquaintance, Lin Yu checked the attributes of the 3 of them. Wen Wen. Occupation, expert pharmacist. Skills, potion production, research and development. Energy, 100. Aaron. Occupation, Grand Master Empire General. Skills, fighting in front of soldiers, training arms. Energy, 100. Full. Occupation, Grand Master Beast Tamer. Skills, training monsters, training mounts. Energy, 100. Excellent. The Hall of Heroes suddenly has 3 new professions of excellence, and the refreshed levels are not low. Lin Yu was very pleased. These 3 people are all the talents that are urgently needed by the world. Wenwen is the royal sister dressed as a secretary, who can make medicine and even develop it by herself. And the female officer Yelan is an imperial general at the master level, who can lead Lin Yu's arms to fight better, and arrange troops and formations, which is more reasonable than Lin Yu, an ordinary person. And it can also lead the captains of other arms to learn. The last wild woman, Fulla, can domesticate monsters and become mounts, and can also greatly enhance the strength of the Lin Yu Empire's arms. Whether it is marching or fighting, it can have a very strong bonus. After reading the attributes of the 3 of them, Lin Yu looked at the Hall of Heroes. Hall of Heroes LV10. Reminder, after the building is unlocked, 3 talents will be automatically generated every day. There is a 70% probability of being an elite talent, a 25% probability of being an expert talent, and a 5% probability of being a master talent. Tip: currently, elite occupations can be generated: chef, tailor, carpenter, miner, blacksmith, animal trainer, imperial general, pharmacist. Upgrading to LV11 requires 1.5 W gold coins, 1.5 W wood, 1.5 W stone, 2000 refined iron, and Imperial Merit X100. End of this chapter. Chapter 148 Going out to Alchemy. Very good, now the overall strength of my empire has improved by leaps and bounds. It can also be equipped with a full range of armed units, from the formation of troops, to mounts, and recovery potions, all of which have been solved together. The emergence of the Hall of Heroes and brand new talents have allowed Lin Yu's overall strength of the empire to be improved to a higher level. Moreover, the total population has also increased to dash, and the number of troops in the territory can also be expanded. The next step is to earn enough gold coins, that is, alchemy. And what could earn more coins than alchemy? Before leaving Wanguo, Lin Yu must ensure that Wanguo's defensive capabilities are sufficient. In the following period, Lin Yu inspected the main city of Wanguo again. After the initial panic, the elites and arms in Wanchai quickly calmed down. Get familiar with the new main city and prepare for the upcoming imperial journey. At the same time, many arms went out to hunt. Now that all nations are established, food will become the biggest demand. Although Lin Yu is currently able to buy food through the trading platform, the minimum self-sufficiency of an empire still has to be achieved. The originally destroyed terrain around Wanyo was also included in the empire's territory, and was automatically repaired by the system. Therefore, the areas outside the current main city are all intact land boundaries, and you can try to open up some land to grow various kinds of food. There is no need to worry about water sources. In addition to the original Swanyu Lake, Lin Yu occupied 2 more water resource territories, which are enough for use. The spiritual field was also irrigated with spiritual water every day, the spiritual energy became more moist, and the fruit tree of life grew more vigorously. And Lin Yu left Wanguo alone, and using the Imperial Teleportation Platform, Lin Yu directly teleported to the outermost coordinates that have been lit up on the current system map. You have activated the Imperial Teleportation Platform. There is one teleporter, and the coordinate point is 1,586,762 feet 1,854,687 inches. You need to pay 10 gold coins for teleportation here. Are you sure? Hehe, it's pretty cheap. Lin Yu touched his chin and paid for the gold coins required for teleportation. Standing on the Imperial Teleportation Platform, a ray of light fell, wrapped Lin Yu's whole body, and teleported him to the designated coordinate point. The light disappeared, and Lin Yu's figure appeared at the coordinate point out of thin air. Here is still a vast expanse of forest. It is a place that Lin Yu has never set foot in before. Well, this is the teleportation imprint, so that's the case. Through the teleportation imprint, you can open the Empire's teleportation platform again and teleport yourself back. Yes, it's very convenient. Lin Yu was undoubtedly very satisfied with using the Imperial Teleportation Platform for the first time. Moreover, there is an extra teleportation imprint on his body, which is the imprint left by those who use the Imperial Teleportation Platform. After activating the imprint, they can be teleported back to the Empire again, which is very convenient. Okay, let me refine gold coins here next. Teleportation here is naturally to use alchemy to obtain a large amount of gold coins. Lin Yu needs to have sufficient gold coins to maintain the daily operations of Wanguo before he can leave with peace of mind. You used alchemy to refine a square meter of forest and got X 1000 gold coins. You used alchemy to refine a square meter of water and soil, and got X 1000 gold coins. You used alchemy to refine 10 princely monsters, and you got gold coins X 10,000. Wherever Lin Yu passed by was like a strong wind passing through, not a single blade of grass grew, and even a stone was squeezed out of several gold coins. No one can stop Lin Yu's pace, even princely monsters are just materials to provide gold coins in front of Lin Yu. In Gran's forest, the number of epic monsters is still relatively rare. Lin Yu could only adopt such a stupid method, pushing it flat, and refining everything with magic elements. After a while, it's almost there. There are no monster babies on such a large scale as the monster invasion. It's really not easy to earn a little gold coins. Lin Yu wiped the non-existent sweat on his forehead, and looked at his current number of gold coins. 200 million. It should be enough to maintain the daily operations of the nations for a period of time. Moreover, it is also possible to recruit some brand new units of the Shenji battalion. At this time, if someone looks down from the sky, they will find that everything around them has fallen into withering and dead silence, just like the area when they met Rias before. But before that, it was still a forest with fertile soil and water. And this is the scary part of alchemy, refining all living things or dead things that contain magic elements. Strange, the number of monsters around seems to have decreased a lot. Yes, there were many powerful monsters before, why they disappeared all of a sudden? Look over there, I remember that there was not a forest before. Why did it suddenly disappear out of thin air? Not far from where Lin Yu was, a team of 7 or 8 people appeared from the shadows. Most of their bodies are wrapped in black cloaks, but the exposed skin is indeed dark purple. Alia, should we go check it out? This place is not too far from our Dark Elf kingdom. If there is anything abnormal, it may affect our kingdom. Well, indeed, I always feel an uneasy premonition. Everyone, be careful, let's get closer and see what happened. This is a team of Dark Elves from the Kingdom of Dark Elves, and the captain of the Dark Elves is Maria. Huh? Is someone approaching? Lin Yu, who was about to leave, noticed someone approaching secretly, but unfortunately the surrounding environment had been destroyed by him, and he had nowhere to hide his figure. Huh? Alia, look over there, there are humans. Human race, answer my question honestly, what happened here? 7 Dark Elves surrounded them, looking at Lin Yu with unkind eyes. Are you, Dark Elves again? Lin Yu's eyes moved slightly, and he recognized the other party's identity from the other party's exposed skin color and long pointed ears. Hey, we are the ones asking you now, males of the human race, if you don't want to suffer, just answer the captain's question honestly. A slightly short Dark Elf urged. Little girl, I'm also curious about what happened here, but I happen to be looking for the kingdom of the Dark Elves. Since you are Dark Elves, I don't know if I have a chance to visit your kingdom of the Dark Elves. Lin Yu smiled, and put aside everything he did, as if he really didn't know. Are you kidding? You, a male of the inferior human race, have no right to inquire about the news of our Dark Elf kingdom. Another Dark Elf spoke, and his words did not take the human race seriously, but were full of contempt. Since you don't know anything, don't waste our time, let's go and look elsewhere. Alia said indifferently, her expression has not changed from the beginning to the end. End of this chapter. Chapter 149 Torturing the Dark Elf. Sure enough, it's just like Harry and the others said, the Dark Elves are really arrogant. Lin Yu touched his chin, recalling what Harry had said. Moreover, the Dark Elves discriminate against the human race very much. It is obvious that the human race is the spirit of all things, but it turned out to be an inferior race from the mouth of the Dark Elves. In fact, not only the Dark Elves, almost most of the foreign races believed that the human race was an inferior race in their hearts. They don't have the innate natural elements of the elves, they don't have the powerful physique of the orcs, and they don't have the powerful blood of the dragons. Lin Yu followed this group of Dark Elves, trying to return to the kingdom of Dark Elves with each other. However, Lin Yu's stalking, which he didn't want to follow at all, immediately aroused the vigilance of the Dark Elves. Hey, human race, what do you want to do with us? The short female elf who had been very dissatisfied with Lin Yu before stopped. Who is following you? This road is so big, I just happened to go there too, don't talk nonsense. Lin Yu said with a smile. Humph, you human race must be a spy sent by the Principality of Belmar or the Peruse Empire, and you want to find out the details of our Dark Elf Kingdom. Alia, I think it's better to kill this sneaky human race directly. Regardless of whether what happened here is related to him or not, it's right to kill him first. Akia, the short Dark Elf, still looked at Lin Yu with a bad face. Akia is right. It is not a day or two for the human race to spy on our Dark Elf Kingdom. Now that Gran's forest is in turmoil, this human race kid is most likely a spy of one of the two forces. It's better to kill the wrong one than to let it go. Alia, let's do it. Several other Dark Elves also spoke one after another, and Lin Yu's life and death were decided in a few words. Good guy, so the Dark Elves are all so irritable. Lin Yu was a little speechless. These Dark Elves didn't regard the human race as humans at all, or in their eyes, the human race was no different from other monsters, and they could hunt and kill them at will. Yes, solve him as soon as possible, we have other things to do. Elf Captain Alia's expression remained unchanged, still indifferent. Yes. With Alia's permission, several other elves surrounded Lin Yu one by one. Spies of the human race, die. Hey, I'm not a spy, I just want to play in the Dark Elf Kingdom, and you won't have any loss. Lin Yu spread his hands, looking quite helpless. Humph, you want to enter our Dark Elf Kingdom and say you're not a spy, Akia. Let's go together and kill this human spy. Several Dark Elves showed their weapons, a sharp dagger, and rushed towards Lin Yu agilely. A group of prince-level Dark Elves, why should they take the initiative to attack me? Lin Yu's body was filled with blood, and a mace-like weapon appeared in his hand. It was the happy stick that he had obtained and hadn't used much. I haven't used this happy stick a few times, let you taste its power today. Swinging the stick, several dark elves rushed up and flew out at a faster speed, hitting the ground, and the violent shock wave instantly leveled everything around. What? You are nothing more than a princely aura, how can you beat Akia and the others? That aloof dark elf captain, Alia watched this scene in disbelief. Hey, aren't you all just princes? The next moment, a deep voice appeared beside Alia, followed by a huge force. Alia subconsciously raised the dagger in his hand to block, but the powerful force was completely unstoppable, and Alia, like other dark elves, was blown away by Lin Yu's stick. Lin Yu solved this dark elf team with princely level combat power in 2s and 3s. The whole body was filled with blood, and he didn't even suffer any damage. Ahem, so strong, so much strength, I couldn't even see his movements clearly at that moment. Alia struggled to get up from the ground. The black cloak on her body had been completely torn, exposing the perfect figure in the 3.1 style. The purple-black skin has a different kind of charm, and those green pupils are full of dignity when looking at Lin Yu. Captain, this guy must be a spy from one of the 2 countries. Such a powerful person cannot be an unknown person, but must be a secretly trained secret whistle. Aqua and the other dark elves were knocked down at the same place. I've said it all, I'm not a spy, by the way, you can treat me as a bard, and want to see the legendary kingdom of dark elves, hee. At this time, Lin Yu appeared in front of several dark elves, looking down at them. Lin Yu also learned about the bard from Harry. Bards themselves are all geniuses and talents. They may come from noble and rich families, or they may come from humble and poor families. With their own wisdom and strength, they have been to many places and made up stories based on their own experiences. Many novel stories. But without exception, every bard has great strength. Are you kidding me? Bards are all handsome talents. People like you are also bards. You must be a spy of the 2 countries, and you are here to inquire about news about our dark elf kingdom. The few dark elves who were beaten down by Lin Yu still believed that Lin Yu was a spy. You dark elves really can't listen to what I say. Since you all believe that I am a spy, then I will show you what torture is called a spy. As soon as Lin Yu changed his previous attitude, he finally understood that it is impossible for these dark elves to change their long-standing view of the human race only by lip service. You, what are you going to do? Bastard, you can't be humiliated. We dark elves are all noble warriors. Hey, it's not allowed there. Under Lin Yu's professional torture, a group of dark elves with purple-black skin all showed a kind of pink, and their faces were even flushed. His chest heaved, and he was dripping with sweat, as if he had experienced a great battle. Well, can we talk now? Lin Yu wiped the sweat from his forehead, and took a deep breath. Damn it, you humble human race, how dare you treat me like this? Even Alia, who was originally the coldest, blushed at this time, and did not dare to look directly at Lin Yu. That's right, we are all the noblest warriors among the dark elves, you are simply insulting us. Akia, who was exquisitely built, also said in embarrassment. I'm going, isn't it just to give you a massage to loosen your muscles and bones? As for the exaggeration. And didn't I apologize just now? Besides, you were the ones who made the first move. End of this chapter. Chapter 150, Dark Elf Forest. Lin Yu looked helpless. Just now he used his own blood energy to cover the whole body of these dark elves, and added some massage techniques in his memory. Help these people exercise their muscles, bones and blood energy. Lin Yu didn't do it too hard before, and he didn't really hurt these dark elves. After some massage, they felt unprecedented pleasure and comfort. After all, this is a group of dark elf fighters who like to fight. Even if they live in seclusion in the Dark Elf Kingdom on weekdays, they still need to come out to hunt and exercise frequently. They have never experienced such a relaxing way as massage. You are insulting our pride as soldiers. Aaliyah turned her face away, and at the same time was annoyed at her embarrassing behavior of yelling comfortably just now. Most of the other dark elves were like this. They considered themselves noble warriors, confident that they would not let go of any cruel torture, and would not reveal any news about the Kingdom of Dark Elves. But just now, several people were defeated by Lin Yu's hands. This is undoubtedly a heavy blow to several dark elves. Forget it, it's really boring, let's go, I'd better go shopping elsewhere. Lin Yu shook his head, and then left here, not caring about the dark elves. After Lin Yu left, the dark elves slowed down on the ground for a while before regaining their senses. Alia, do you think that despicable human race is gone? I don't know, but there has been no movement for so long, so I should have left. Alia said uncertainly. With the support of their companions, several dark elves stood up and looked around, but they did not see Lin Yu. It seems that he has really left. Maybe this person is not a spy of the 2 countries, nor is he a businessman of a foreign race. Otherwise, he would not have let us go so easily. Alia said. The dark elves who went out before naturally encountered spies from the 2 countries, and even some foreign traffickers who captured dark elves for sale. On the continent of Arad, there are many alien races that are similar to human races, and most of them are naturally beautiful and have a special charm. And the alien traffickers took a fancy to unique races such as alien races and dark elves, and specially ambushed and set traps to capture the women of alien races, and then sold them to rich people as playthings. Although the capital of the Kingdom of Dark Elves is well hidden, sometimes dark elves who went out did not return and were captured and sold by foreign traders. and the spies of those kingdoms will do the same thing as the alien traffickers in addition to torturing them for news about the Dark Elf Kingdom. These are the reasons why the Dark Elves hate the human race. Noble fighters can only die in battle and must not be humiliated, but in the hands of those people, even life and death cannot be freely controlled. Since that human race is gone, let's go back quickly. There is turmoil in Grand's forest. It seems that many strong people have come. Maybe we should not go out for a while. Akia is right. Even if we don't go out for a period of time, our Dark Elf Kingdom will be able to hold on. Okay, then go back and inform the Queen to completely seal the entrance and exit of the Dark Elf Kingdom. Several Dark Elves made up their minds, looked around again, and left quietly after making sure that Lin Yu was not seen. Hey, in terms of concealment, I'm not bad either. In the dark, Lin Yu's figure followed quietly. After following all the way for several hours, Lin Yu was not discovered by the Dark Elves, but instead followed the Dark Elves smoothly to another forest. This has far surpassed the map lit up on Lin Yu's current map system, and is a brand new map. And as the map lit up, Lin Yu also saw the name of this forest, Forest of Dark Elves. Is this forest the kingdom of the Dark Elves? Lin Yu looked around a lot, not to mention the secluded environment. Even large monsters were very rare, and they were all harmless monsters gathered. If this is really the kingdom of the Dark Elves, these monsters can not only confuse outsiders, but also be used as food reserves. Most respected king, we, the Dark Elves, have returned from inspections. Please open the entrance and allow us to enter. After entering the forest, Alia, the captain of the Dark Elf, closed his eyes and began to pray devoutly. The originally peaceful forest suddenly changed, and the natural magic elements gathered together in an orderly manner, forming a rune that Lin Yu could not understand. Immediately afterwards, the rune slowly expanded, forming a void portal, which is the portal to the kingdom of the Dark Elves. It turns out that the entrance and exit of the Dark Elf Kingdom still needs to shout a hidden slogan to enter. No wonder no one has discovered it. By the way, how did Harry and the others enter the Dark Elf Kingdom last time? Lin Yu hiding behind watched every move of Alia and other Dark Elves. Just at this moment, a cold voice sounded. Alia, it's been a while since you became the squad leader. Why didn't you know that there was a tail behind you, and you even opened the portal? With the sound of the voice, a slim figure walked out of the portal. Wearing a long golden dress and a crown inlaid with various gemstones on his head, his smooth and slender feet are in close contact with the earth, and he walked slowly step by step in front of Alia and the others. My lady queen, what do you mean? Alia was startled. Fine drops of sweat appeared on her face that had been icy all this time. It's that cunning human race. He didn't leave at all, but followed us to the forest of Dark Elves. Akia also reacted quickly, and several people immediately looked around nervously. The Queen of the Dark Elves, you really have a powerful aura. This guy actually has the aura of a demigod. Lin Yu looked at the Dark Elf Queen who came out of the portal, and the other party's attributes appeared in front of his eyes. Dark Elf Queen, Mebius. Race, Dark Elf. Battle Power, 1 star and half god. Level, LV 80. Life, 1-2. Attack, 7580. Defense, 5100. Skill 1, Elemental Explosion LV 10. Concentrate magic elements to send out explosive attacks. Skill 2, Dark Curse LV 15, chanting a spell to curse the opponent, causing all attributes to decrease. If the strength is too far behind Mebius, there is a certain probability of direct death. Skill 3, Magic Storm LV 12, condense magic power to launch waveguide attack. Skill 4, Skill 5, Race Talent, Natural Affinity. Elves are naturally close to nature, Dark Elf girlfriends are especially superior, and the power of magic cast will increase by 50%. After reading the attributes of the Dark Elf Queen Mebius, Lin Yu already knew that he was not the opponent's opponent. Moreover, he had been discovered by Mebius, and Lin Yu was locked on by a powerful aura. End of this chapter. Chapter 151 Dark Elf Queen, Mebius. Invincible, not an opponent. Moreover, this Dark Elf Queen actually has question marks about her skills. Lin Yu couldn't check the remaining 2 skills of her opponent at all. Only the first 3 skills can be seen, and they are all powerful long-range magic attacks. My Lord Queen, when we were away today, we came across a strange place. Everything there was robbed of life, and there was no magic element. Just when we were about to investigate what happened there, we met a human race. After a battle, that human race claimed to be a bard, and then left. Alia still kept her head down. As the captain of this Dark Elf team, she let an outsider follow her without even realizing it, and even opened the portal in front of outsiders. In any case, this responsibility must be borne by her. Because you are a first-time offender, after returning to the capital, go to the Black Death Cave to face the wall for a week. Mebius said coldly. Hearing the Black Dead Cave, Lin Yu was shocked when he saw the bodies of several proud Dark Elves, as if he heard something particularly frightening. My Lady Queen, I beg you to change the punishment. None of the Dark Elves who entered the Black Death Cave can come back safely. Aqua begged tremblingly from the side. Huh? Do you have any objection to this king's words? Mebius' indifferent gaze swept over Akia, and the petite Dark Elf froze immediately, unable to say any more words of request. Alia, what about you? The cold eyes swept across, and the rest of the Dark Elves didn't dare to speak at all. Alia's body trembled, and she lowered her head and said, Yes, my Lady Queen. I am obedient. As expected of her lady queen, this aura is strong. I'd better slip away first. Lin Yu hiding in the dark watched all this happen, and had to say that Mebius was very strong, but because he brought Lin Yu back carelessly for a while, he would suffer such punishment. Although I don't know where the Black Death Cave is, it is definitely not a good place to ask that little girl Akia to intercede. Human race over there, did this king let you go? As soon as Lin Yu made a move, a waveguide attack was shot from Mebius's hand, blowing up several ancient trees around Lin Yu. What a mighty power! Lin Yu was startled, but fortunately, there was a blood shadow walking around him, and the speed was fast enough. Otherwise, it really wouldn't be able to avoid the instant and powerful attack of Mebius. We can't keep entangled with her. If we want to fight, we have to bring Albedo with us. Although Lin Yu has been greatly improved by his career book and his combat power has reached a 1-star epic, he still has no strength to fight back against the demigod Mebius. It's a bit of a skill, no wonder it can escape the detection of Alia and the others, but that's it. Mebius raised her hand again, the magic power gathered in her palm, and the instantaneous waveguide attack came to Lin Yu in an instant. Blood Shadow Step. Lin Yu still used the Blood Shadow Step to avoid a few demon storms, and then he used the Blood Shadow Step with all his strength without looking back, and rushed towards the transmitted coordinate point. Humph. Where are you going? Mebius snorted coldly, his body had to disappear in place, and he chased after him. Please, I am a bard passing by, why is her lady queen stalking me so hard? The powerful aura behind him is pressing on every step. Fortunately, Lin Yu has enough blood energy to use the Blood Shadow Step without restriction, otherwise he would have been overtaken by him long ago. Bard? But why does this king feel the breath of a blood mage from you? This king hates blood mages and blood clans the most. Mebius chased after him, and kept attacking Lin Yu with waves. Relying on the Blood Shadow Step, Lin Yu kept moving in various coquettish positions, and finally rushed back to the coordinate point when he was teleported. Send. The Empire teleportation platform is opening. Consume gold coins x10, teleportation is on. As the system's prompt ended, a void portal slowly appeared. Damn it, don't try to run. Mebius roared angrily, speeding up a bit again. Hehe, who is going to run away? Do you really think you are the queen when I call you the queen? Lin Yu suddenly stopped his figure, and turned around slowly. But behind Lin Yu, in the void portal, a tall and perfect woman in a pure white dress with curved horns on her head came out. Albedo, the Holy Glory class, descends? Oh, master, look at how embarrassed you are, Albedo will feel sorry for you. Albedo had a half-smile expression on her face, which clearly meant talking. Look, if you don't take me out with you, something will happen soon. Hehehe, Albedo, are you laughing at master? This old woman is a demigod-level existence. How could I be his opponent? If someone of the same level of combat power comes, I will fight 10 of them. Lin Yu stood behind Albedo, pointing at Mebius, queen of the dark elf. Shenjao level, how is it possible? The aura before that is you. Seeing Albedo's appearance, Mebius, who had always been very aloof, finally showed a change in expression. It was no longer the expression of aloofness and indifference towards everything, but a dignified and cautious expression. It's interesting, isn't this the dark elf queen Mebius? My lord, where did you provoke her? Another voice sounded, and Lias walked out of the void portal in a gorgeous blood-red dress. Rias Jo, a demigod-level blood race. Riaz, you old witch is not dead yet. Seeing Rias Jo's appearance, Mebius' expression changed again, and a hint of shock quietly appeared on her face. Hehehe, sister Mebius, you are not dead yet, how could my sister die? Rias covered her right cheek and said shyly. Humph, what is the origin of this human lord? There is a Shenjao class following him, and you are also serving under the other party. Mebius asked. Oh, I just want to repay the lord for saving his life, so, sister Mebius, if you want to take action against my lord, I won't just sit idly by. Rias had a smile on her face, but she had secretly activated the blood in her body and was always ready to make a move. It seems that Rias and Mebius know each other, and depending on the situation, they don't get along. Women are especially concerned about age. These two immortal old women must be thousands of years old, right? Lin Yu slandered on the side. Albedo took a step forward, the pure white dress on her body fell off, and she was wrapped in black armor instead, like a female knight. You don't need to take action, hunt down the master, this guy, Albedo will take care of it himself. End of this chapter. Chapter 152 Albedo's Rescue. Shenjao level, even in the heavens, can become a powerful and giant character. At the point of being powerful, it can even become an evil god, possessing the realm of immortality. What's more, now that there can only be demigod-level realms at most, Albedo's existence is completely a bug figure who slaughtered the entire realm. It seems that the aura not long ago erupted from you. It is unimaginable that the current world can still give birth to the Shenjao level, but why do you condescend to be beside the mere human race? And Rias Jiao, you are also following this human race. Why do you two strong people follow a humble human race? I didn't see a reply from the two, and even heard Albedo call Lin Yu his master, which undoubtedly shocked the Dark Elf Queen. Hehe, you have to say something disrespectful to your master over and over again, damn it. Albedo let out two low laughs. Obviously the laughter was very moving and full of charm, but in Mebius' ears, it seemed to be the whisper of death. No, you can't kill me, I'm immortal, I'm the queen of the Dark Elves, Mebius. Mebius, who has always been extremely proud and full of queenly style, felt the crisis of death personally at this moment, as well as the powerful coercion emanating from Albedo, which absolutely suppressed her. She didn't even have a chance to escape. Hey, Albedo, go and teach this proud queen a lesson. I've seen her upset for a long time. Lin Yu hid behind Albedo with a wicked smile on his face, and he didn't feel that there was anything wrong with hiding behind a woman like this. His own woman, isn't that also part of his strength? Damn. Mebius' expression became flustered, because Albedo finally made a move. Cut. The axe in Albedo's hand fell, a simple blow, but it seemed to be carrying the general trend of the world. It was unstoppable, and it could not be resisted at all. Faced with a blow from the Shenjiao class, Mebius could no longer maintain the image of the proud queen before. At this moment, like Alia who was punished before, her life and death depended on Albedo's thoughts. Oh, it seems that I don't need to take action at all, my lord. With a smile on her face, Rias looked at the aggrieved Mebius in leisure. Rias, from the look of you, it seems that you are very happy to see Mebius suffer. Could it be that there is some little secret between you? Lin Yu asked curiously. Well, since the lord has said it's a little secret, of course it can't be said. But, my lord, haven't you noticed something? Albedo can crush Mebius, but why hasn't he been killed? Rias did not mention the conflict between her and Mebius, but instead pointed to Mebius who was being suppressed by Albedo. Really? Lin Yu also turned his attention to the two of Albedo again. According to Albedo's temperament, those who can be killed in one blow will never delay. What's more, Albedo shot with killing intent this time, so it's even more impossible to keep her hand. And with Mebius demigod level strength, it is absolutely impossible to be the opponent of Shenjiao level Albedo. Just like Rias, she was suppressed by a single tentacle left by the evil god for countless years. And now, under Albedo's offensive, Mebius was indeed retreating steadily. Although Mebius can instantly launch wave guides, magic blasts, and skills that Lin Yu cannot detect. But under the suppression of absolute strength, Mebius had no chance to display it at all. Shocking injuries with deep visible bones appeared in many places on his body, and his aura was also extremely weak. But he just held his breath and didn't die for a long time. So Rias, you must know why Mebius was able to persist under Albedo for so long, right? Lin Yu turned his head to look at Lias beside him. Hey, my lord really doesn't know anything. I really don't know why there are so many powerful people around you like you. Rias covered her mouth and smiled lightly. Stop talking nonsense, speak quickly. Lin Yu's face turned dark. Lias was mocking her ignorance. Hey, this is because most of the demigods in the earth have ancestors who are still alive. Although the passage to the heavens is closed, the power of those ancestors can still protect the younger generation. Rias said mysteriously. Old ancestor? So what? Albedo is also at the Shenjiao level. Lin Yu was a little puzzled, and thought that the ancestor Lias said would be a Shenjiao level existence. After all, a group like the Dark Elves can be regarded as a group that has been passed down for a long time, and any powerful people in the race can be understood. No, it is an existence beyond the Shenjiao level, and those existences have blessed their descendants. The descendants who have reached the demigod level can receive their power blessings. In the realm, the demigod level cannot be killed unless the strength surpasses those ancestors. Lias's words were like a bolt from the blue, completely shocking Lin Yu. An existence beyond the Shenjiao level, what level of character is that? He is a real godlike undead boss? Tisk, it turns out to be such a troublesome power, no wonder you can't kill the guy who offended the master. Albedo swung a few more slashes to repel Mebius, although the huge force could not take away Mebius' life. But Mebius' gorgeous clothes were torn apart under the slash, and his perfect body was displayed in front of several people. Master, since this guy can't be killed, why not take her as a slave? Albedo suggested. Just because he couldn't be killed didn't mean he couldn't be enslaved, and with Albedo's strength, he could completely suppress Mebius. Albedo, you have a good idea. The Queen of the Dark Elves will be my maid. If you tell me about it, it will be more honorable. Lin Yu touched his chin and looked at the woman in front of him who was chasing him. Before, I was so embarrassed in front of the other party that if I hadn't mastered the magical skill of Blood Shadow Step and escaped Wushuan, I'm afraid I would have been beaten to death by this girl long ago. That's a good idea, my lord. Quickly take her in as a maid. I happen to know a sealing technique. With Albedo's help, I can seal all of Mebius' strength, even if you want to do it to her. She can't resist anything. Rias on the side said in a fanatical way. From her dreamy expression, it can be seen that this woman has definitely thought about how to make Mebius in the future. No, you can't do this to me. I'm the Queen of the Dark Elves, Mebius. End of this chapter. Chapter 153 Imprisoning the Queen. Mebius' face was ugly, and his breath fluctuated. She wanted to run away, but Albedo had locked her breath all the time, so she had no chance to run away. And now the situation has reversed. Mebius has become Lin Yu as prisoner. Although as Rias said, with the protection of the ancestors, he will not lose his life. But some humiliation is definitely indispensable, and she may even become Lin Yu's maid, which Mebius cannot accept. Hihi, if you say no, don't you? I didn't see you holding back when you chased me down before, but now that it's in my hands, you still don't know how to behave properly. Lin Yu stepped forward, pretending to be around Mebius in a large number, as if thinking about whether he had the qualifications to be a maid. For a long time, Lin Yu shook his head and sighed again and again. No, this ass is not upright enough, this grandma is not big enough, especially this face, although it is beautiful, it is too cold. Hey, our Albedo is better. After the loss of Mebius, Lin Yu did not forget to praise Albedo. Hee, so the master hasn't forgotten about Albedo. Albedo thought you would fall in love with this dark elf queen, master. Albedo suppressed Mebius with one hand, and quietly touched Lin Yu's chest with the other, drawing small circles. Okay, let's stop making trouble. Mebius, I just want to ask you a question. Can I visit the Dark Elf Kingdom now? Lin Yu asked with a serious face. Play for fun, play for trouble, don't forget about Maria. Lin Yu has always felt guilty towards Maria. This time he has the opportunity to catch the Dark Elf Queen Mebius, so he must ask clearly. You are dreaming, my Dark Elf Kingdom never welcomes outsiders. Mebius said with a cold face. Oh, Mebius, I think you don't understand the current situation at all. I can tell you well, it's for the sake of your Dark Elf Queen's face that I'm notifying you, don't be shameless. Do you think the kingdom of the Dark Elves can stop us? Lin Yu said with a smile, such straightforward and cruel words made Mebius stagnate. Yes, now she herself is a prisoner, suppressed by Albedo, and also restricted by Lin Yu, a human race that she does not look up to. What will she do to protect the kingdom of Dark Elves? Damn, you hateful human race. Although he is deeply aware of the current situation, Mebius is also the king of a country and the head of a family. How can she, who has been in a high position for a long time, lower her head and surrender to a small human race? Albedo, suppress her lady queen, and watch how I can deal with her. Look at my blue and silver grass entwined, chaotic cloak and beating. Lin Yu screamed strangely, making Mebius gasp and blushing. A little blush added to the always cold face made it even more attractive. Damn it, you, what are you plotting against my king's Dark Elf Kingdom? Mebius said angrily, his body was restricted, and Lin Yu was allowed to operate, which made the queen feel unprecedented humiliation. Conspiracy? No, I just want to find something in your Dark Elf Kingdom. Magda flying ship, you should know about it. Lin Yu said. Magda flying ship? You just for that shit. However, what Lin Yu didn't expect was that Mebius could no longer hide the anger in his heart when he heard that Lin Yu just wanted to find the Magda flying ship. Damn humans, you treat this king just for such an insignificant thing. The strong anger and humiliation made Mebius regain his status as queen, glaring at Lin Yu. I told you a long time ago, I just want to travel to the kingdom of the Dark Elves. Since the flying Magda ship seems insignificant to you, can you leave it to me now? Lin Yu smiled. I can give it to you, but you must swear that you will never harass me and the Dark Elf Kingdom again from now on. Mebius also tried to negotiate with Lin Yu, handing over useless things like the Magda flying ship in exchange for the stability of himself and the Dark Elf Kingdom. It seems that you haven't realized who you are, Albedo, lock her up. After a long time, she will naturally know what to do. Lin Yu directly ordered Mebius to be imprisoned, too lazy to waste time talking with this proud Dark Elf Queen. With Mebius' identity and status, it must be difficult to accept such a thing for a while. And Lin Yu's solution to this is also very simple, imprisoned and imprisoned. Time can obliterate everything, since Mebius cannot be killed, then her will be obliterated slowly. And Lin Yu didn't want Mebius to surrender, and imprisoning her would also make it much easier for the next trip to the Dark Elf Kingdom. Based on the respect that Alia and others had for Mebius that Lin Yu saw in the Forest of Dark Elves, as long as Mebius was in his hands, those Dark Elves would never dare to hinder Lin Yu more. You want to imprison me? No, you can't do this to me. Mebius' expression changed, and he wanted to struggle, but under Albedo's pressure, he couldn't break free at all. Since the master said to imprison you, then let you go first, and be honest with me. Albedo took a few steps forward and sealed all the power of Mebius. At this time, Mebius was no different from ordinary people. Wait, let me get some tokens from the Dark Elf Queen, lest those Dark Elves don't believe me. Just when Albedo walked past Lin Yu with Mebius, Lin Yu remembered this. With one move, he took off 2 absolutely trustworthy Queen's tokens from Mebius. You, a humble human race, dare to insult this king like this, it's really hateful. Mebius's whole body strength was sealed at this time, and he couldn't even stop him, so he could only watch Lin Yu entangled with blue and silver grass on his body, messing with the cloak. Take away the underwear belonging to Mebius as the queen's token. Albedo pressed Mebius back to the territory. Rias had watched enough of a good show, and followed Albedo with a smile on her face. From time to time, he laughed and mocked Mebius. Lin Yu would be ashamed of how cheap he looked. Master, aren't you going back to 10,000 kingdoms? Halfway there, Albedo realized that Lin Yu was not together, so she couldn't help turning her head and asking, go back first. The most powerful Dark Elf in the Dark Elf Kingdom should be Queen Mebius. Now is a good opportunity to explore the Dark Elf Kingdom. And I still have the token of Mebius in my hand, and the people of the Dark Elf Kingdom will definitely not dare to do anything to me, Lin Yu said. End of this chapter. Chapter 154. This is the Queen's token. In this case, then Master, be careful, Rias, you go and protect the Master. Albedo nodded, then slipped past Rias and threw her out of the teleportation table. Hey, Albedo, I still want to catch up with her Lady Queen. Rias was very dissatisfied. However, after Albedo threw it out of the teleportation platform, it had already started teleporting back to the 10,000 kingdoms. Only Lias, who was a little annoyed, was left, stomped her feet, and finally had no choice but to come to Lin Yu's side. Let's go, Lord, let's go to the Dark Elf Kingdom, there are many beautiful Dark Elves in the Dark Elf Kingdom. Without Mebius, the Dark Elf Kingdom will become your own harem, and you can ask for it. Rias blinked, with an expression that you understand. Ahem, don't talk nonsense, Rias, my feelings for Albedo are very pure. Lin Yu turned his head away, and nodded Liasi's smooth forehead. It's you, what kind of grievances do you have with Mebius? If you make trouble like this, you won't be afraid that she will trouble you in the future. She was captured alive by you, Lord, what trouble can she cause me? Rias covered her mouth and smiled lightly. By the way, you said that the demigods in the land have ancestors who surpassed the Shenjao level and can protect them from death. What about you, don't you have blood ancestors who surpassed the Shenjao level to protect you? Lin Yu asked suspiciously. I still remember how miserable she was when I found Rias, her body and soul were stripped. The soul was swallowed by the tentacles of the evil god, and the body became an unconscious monster, hunting and killing monsters for the evil god, and offering blood. It can be said that it is countless times worse than Mebius, who is now in Lin Yu's hands. And if Lin Yu hadn't rescued Lias from the evil god, even Rias's soul would perish because of this, and her body would degenerate forever, unable to return to normal. Hey, I can't help it. Who told us that the talents of our blood race are so enviable? I guess the ancestors have all been killed, otherwise. Rias hesitated to speak, her face was full of pity. Haha. Lin Yu had a look of hee. It is estimated that the people of your blood race are all bragging outside and forcing the same draft, and they were beaten to death. Forget it, that's a matter for your blood race, I don't bother to ask. Now, let's go to the Dark Elf Kingdom for a stroll. Lin Yu no longer pressed the question, knowing that this must be the pain of Lias and their blood clan, maybe it was really what he thought, pretending to be beaten to death. Soon, Lin Yu took Lias back to the previous Dark Elf forest. The portal in the forest had already been closed, presumably it was closed after Alia's Dark Elf team entered the Kingdom of the Dark Elves. And if you want to enter the Dark Elf Kingdom, you need to reopen that portal. My lord, as far as I know, the headquarters of the Dark Elf Kingdom is in a different space. To enter it requires a specific portal. Now, Rias watched intently from the side, even holding a red umbrella to shade the sun. I said, you are too leisurely, since you know there is a portal here, why don't you hurry up and solve it? It's been a while since you came to Wanguo, now it's time for you to contribute. Lin Yu glanced at Lias, and this guy would make sarcastic remarks on the side. For some reason, Rias suddenly blushed and said in a hurry. Ahem, my soul is the first creation, and the fusion with the body has not yet been completed, and my strength has not yet fully recovered, and I am still weak. Lord, haven't you been here before? You should know how to contact the Dark Elves inside. I'll go, you bastard. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if you let me, the Lord of all nations, go to fight in front of other people's houses? Lin Yu pretended to be angry and said, the Lord is mighty, the Lord is the most handsome. Lias smiled playfully, walked behind Lin Yu, and pushed Lin Yu forward. Go, Lord. Lin Yu shook his head helplessly, and walked to the place where Alia and others worshipped devoutly in his memory. Open the door, I have the token of your Dark Elf Queen. Lin Yu shouted loudly. However, this shout only startled some birds in the Dark Elf forest, but there was no sign of the portal opening. Sure enough, I won't open the door easily. In this case, I can only use a unique trick. Lin Yu opened the system package, which contained the small golden inner and the small golden cover that he had just obtained. I have to say that the queen is the queen, and the clothes are stylish. It really conforms to the unchanging law that the less you wear, the higher your defense. Lin Yu picked it out, and took out the golden T-shaped underwear. If you don't look carefully, you will never believe that this is actually the Queen of the Dark Elves, Mebius' personal thing. Because this is really too simple, although it contains special magic power, it will bring a holy light after wearing it. Dark Elves, Kong, what is in my hand? This is a token with the breath of your Queen Mebius. Lin Yu dangled in the air holding the Queen's token. The aura that belonged exclusively to Mebius spread. After all, it was a demigod's personal clothing. After wearing it for a long time, it will naturally contain an exclusive atmosphere. In addition, it is made of extraordinary materials and has a special magic power bonus. It is impossible to forge it, because this token is the same top-notch equipment, and its quality has even reached purple. In a different dimension invisible to Lin Yu and Rias, this is where the Kingdom of Dark Elves is. There are several Dark Elves guarding an altar. A blue crystal ball is inlaid on the altar, and a picture emerges in the crystal ball, which is Lin Yu and Lias in the Forest of Dark Elves. At the same time, Lin Yu's voice sounded. The Queen's token, this is the Queen's token. Seeing the Queen's token is like seeing the Queen herself. Why don't you open the door? Moses, is anyone at home? Your Queen gave me a token to take over the Kingdom of the Dark Elves. A dark elf wearing Desh armor and resembling a female warrior walked up to the crystal ball, and his eyes fell on the dangling Queen's token in Lin Yu's hand. Isn't this human race the one that was hunted out by the Queen earlier? Why did I see him come back now, but didn't see the Queen come back? Another dark elf stepped forward and looked at the crystal ball with an ugly expression. It's not wrong, it's the Queen's personal belongings. Damn it, how could it be in the hands of this humble human race? Did something happen to the Queen? The queen is invincible, how could something happen? It must be some conspiracy used by this despicable and shameless human race. The third dark elf walked to the crystal ball and reached out to touch the crystal ball. I want to open the portal and interrogate this human race myself. End of this chapter. Chapter 155. Poor grades, _ Open a new book online game, Immortal, I have to die and become stronger. The first QQ reading, browser, gentlemen can take a look. Was murdered because of a prop? After death, Lu Ren actually awakened the talent of immortality. Swear that you will become stronger in the end, take revenge, and reach the top. You are dead, you have obtained the enemy's S-level skill, and you are unparalleled in halberd skills? You are dead, get the enemy's S-level skill God tattoo, engrave the god, and the gods descend to the earth 1v4? You are dead, get the enemy's S-level skill justice punishment, blazing holy flame, burning sin? Death can become stronger, this is an avenger crawling out of the abyss of death? This is a story of infinite death and reaching the peak? End of this chapter. Chapter 156. The Queen Who Can't Be Contacted. In the forest of the Dark Elves, magic power gathered, and a void portal emerged. Finally I'm willing to come out. Lin Yu smiled, and secretly put away the queen's keepsake. This is a good thing, and it must be kept close to him. Irrational human race, tell the queen's whereabouts. With a buzzing sound, an arrow glowing with jet black light shot out. At this time, Rias finally moved, waved her hand lightly, blood condensed into an arm, and firmly held the arrow in her hand. Oh, I can't just sit back and watch the Lord be attacked. Rias chuckled, a trace of tyranny flashed in her eyes, and waved her hand fiercely again, and the dark elf in the distance, who was about to attack again with a bow and arrow, fell backwards. The cheek on the left was raised high, and it turned out to be red and swollen from Rias' slap across the air. Arrogant person, actually committing murder at the gate of the Dark Elf Kingdom, damn it. A total of 3 dark elves appeared behind the portal. One dark elf went to check on the wounds of the dark elf who was blown away, and the other dark elf glared angrily, staring at Lin Yu and Lias, and the spear in his hand was ready to throw out. Don't open your mouth to be a disrespectful person, keep your mouth shut to be a humble human race, I am a distinguished guest who came here with the queen's token. Lin Yu stood up with a smile on his face. What is the queen's token? Yours is clearly the queen's. Ayaz was on the verge of speaking, but he didn't know how to speak. The so-called queen's token that Lin Yu showed earlier was clearly the queen's personal clothing. But if she said it so bluntly, wouldn't she want to tell others that the queen's underwear was held by a mere human race, and she was still dangling outside the dark elf forest like a show of power? Even thinking deeply, if the male finds the queen's personal clothing, wouldn't he do something? Hey, little elf, admit it, I have the queen's token in my hand. If you don't believe me, you should have a way to contact the queen. Try to get in touch. Lin Yu always had a faint smile on his face. What Lin Yu has always wanted most is a way to march quickly and a way to communicate even if the distance is far away. Now, Wanguo is established, with the teleportation platform that can quickly teleport according to the map coordinates. The rest is to find a communication method. And an ancient race country like the Dark Elf Kingdom, which has existed for a long time, must have many ways to contact the strongest of the race. I know you, the little thief who followed Alia and the others before. Although I don't know what method you used to escape from the queen, but when we contact the queen, it will be your death. Ayala, the dark elf who had been sent flying by Rias's slap earlier, was helped back, and cast a vicious glance at Rias, but the previous slap had already deeply frightened her. Ayala didn't dare to trouble Rias and could only spread her grievances on Lin Yu. Ayala took out a pitch-black crystal ball from his arms, not afraid of Lin Yu's small movements, and directly chanted the profound and difficult spell. Ayaz and another dark elf guarded Ayala, watching Lin Yu vigilantly. Soon, the crystal ball seemed to be attracted by the magic power, reacted, and lighted up slightly. This hateful human kid, after I contact the queen, I must imprison him, extract his soul, and torture him with the cruelest means, so that he would be worse than death. Ayaz thought to himself. But contrary to expectations, the crystal ball did not communicate with their queen Mebius. Instead, the bright light quickly extinguished and returned to its original appearance. How is it possible? This crystal ball can directly talk to the queen's soul, and now the crystal ball cannot establish a connection with the queen, that is to say, the queen was killed. The 3 dark elves looked at each other in disbelief. The next moment, the 3 looked at Lin Yu at the same time, and Ayaz asked with an ugly expression. What did you do to the queen? No, an ant queen like you can be easily crushed. What kind of conspiracy did you use? After they couldn't get in touch with Mebius, they thought that something happened to Mebius. It seemed that they didn't know that after entering the demigod level, they would have the protection of the ancestors and would not die. Rias, let's do it directly. I've been playing with them for a long time, and it's time to do it. Lin Yu waved his hand, motioning for Rias to take down the 3 dark elves guarding the gate. Hey, is the Lord going to do it now? I thought the Lord would have fun with them. After all, the beauty of the elves is recognized in the mainland. Rias smiled, with a different meaning on her face. Indeed, the elves have inherent beauty, which is incomparable to humans. And the girls of the elves are also the objects pursued by many men. You're talking too much nonsense, Rias, I'll give you a meal and take down the Dark Elf Kingdom. Lin Yu said indifferently. Then he took out the spray set meal and some spiritual water from the system package, sat on the ground, and ate directly. Since Rias was recruited as a time-limited hero, Lin Yu has not commanded her. Moreover, the time-limited heroes are different from the heroes recruited by Lin Yu, and they do not have absolute loyalty and respect for him. Just like Rias, she always feels that this little vampire wants to do some tricks, and often arranges herself overtly and secretly. Taking advantage of this opportunity, let Rias make a move. Oh, this is not good, a few little guys, then I'm sorry, my lord seems to be really angry. Then I should, too, abide by my contract. After Lias finished speaking, a strange red light flashed in her eyes, and she disappeared in place. Lin Yu had been paying attention to Lias, and the next moment Lias appeared next to the three dark elves, but they didn't see Lias making any movement, and the three dark elves fell down with confused expressions. It was as if all the strength had been drawn from his body. Although his eyes were open, he couldn't instruct his body to make any movements. I don't want to take your lives either. It's a lesson for you. When facing the top powerhouses in the world, you still have to have the respect you deserve. Leaving a few words, Rias went straight into the portal that hadn't been closed yet. She is a demigod-level powerhouse, on the same level as her Lady Queen. Ayaz, who fell limp on the ground, was shocked in his heart. At the level of demigods, other than those of the same level, it is difficult for other low-level creatures to see through their true strength. In their eyes, even Lin Yu's level is a question mark, which cannot be detected. It just subconsciously felt that Lin Yu, who was hunted down by the queen in embarrassment before, would not be a strong man. The absolute strength gap between them and Lin Yu was ignored. End of this chapter. Chapter 157 Conquering the Dark Elf Kingdom. Grilled chicken wings, my favorite. Seeing Lias entering the kingdom of the Dark Elves, Lin Yu felt relieved and concentrated on eating his delicious food. At the same time, it moved the position, and came to the side where several Dark Elves fell. The tangy fragrance stunned the three Dark Elves of Ayaz, who couldn't taste it when they were close at hand, especially when they saw Lin Yu enjoying the delicious food. It was definitely a torture for the three Dark Elves. I can only comfort myself from the bottom of my heart. We are all warriors of the Dark Elves. We must ensure that we have an absolutely peaceful warrior heart. Rias did not disappoint Lin Yu with her shot. After eating a few roasted wings, she saw Rias come out of the portal again. My lord, the kingdom of the Dark Elves has been taken down. There was still blood on Lias' mouth. Her red lips were slightly parted, as if she was reminiscing the long-lost taste of blood. Very well, it seems that you really didn't contribute much. Lin Yu nodded in satisfaction, and took a demigod shot to win a kingdom that did not have the same combat power. It was not too easy. What's more, the local forces in the mainland of Arad don't have the awesome special buildings like the system, which can strengthen the combat power of all arms and defeat the strong with the weak. You two bastards, don't think that you are a demigod. Although you don't know what happened to Her Majesty the Queen, when she comes back, there will be good juice for you. Ayaz couldn't believe that her Lady Queen would have an accident until now, and he still kept his mouth stubborn. Whatever, I hope your Lady Queen can come back. Lin Yu stuffed the half-eaten grilled wings into Ayaz's mouth. The female elf talked a little too much. Woo, woo woo woo. Ayaz's face was flushed red, and a foreign object was roughly stuffed into his small mouth, which made Ayaz want to vomit instinctively. Let's go, let me come to Kong Dark Elf Kingdom. What kind of scene will it be? After clapping his hands, Lin Yu strode towards the portal, leaving three dark elves staring at him angrily. Rias followed closely behind and passed through the void portal with Lin Yu. Kingdom of the Dark Elves. Different from the luxurious country Lin Yu imagined, here are buildings full of age. In other words, it's very crude, and it's incomparable to my own territory. In the very center of the capital, there is a huge spaceship. Sure enough, as Harry and the others said, the spaceship has been damaged, and there are two huge gaps just as Lin Yu saw it. On the outskirts of the capital, there are stretches of forests surrounding it. In the Dark Elf Kingdom at this time, half of the buildings were knocked down, and the fire was shining, and from time to time, 3 or 2 Dark Elf could be seen supporting each other. And when they saw Rias, the chief culprit who destroyed the kingdom, come back, these Dark Elves who had already lost their combat power rushed up again, trying to drive Rias out of their kingdom. However, Rias just waved her hand lightly, and the already injured Dark Elves immediately fell down again. It's not good to admit defeat obediently. Your queen has already been taken down by the Lord. Now the Lord is merciful. It is the greatest honor for you not to take your life away. Rias' voice spread throughout the kingdom. It was both a deterrent and a reminder. Tell the Dark Elves in the kingdom not to think about resisting, otherwise they will really kill people. Faugh, her Lady Queen is so powerful, how could she be taken down by a human race? It must be some trick you played. Dark Elves will never be slaves, and they will never fear even death. Get out of our home, hateful intruder. Rias' words fell, and immediately there were different curses from all directions. My lord, I think it's better to just... Rias licked Yeyi's red lips, a pair of red pupils exuded a bloodthirsty light. Hey, it's not good to fight and kill. I'm just here to borrow the Magda airship of the Dark Elf Kingdom, and it won't destroy the country. Lin Yu looked at the Dark Elves around him and knew that they were all arrogant and would not compromise easily, but... Your queen has indeed been taken down by me. No matter how you refute, this is an indisputable fact. And now, if any one of you tries to resist me, it's hard to say what kind of punishment your queen will suffer. With a smile on his face, Lin Yu took out the queen's token that he had prepared. This time it came directly and ruthlessly, and took out 2 queen's tokens at a time. What is that? How can there be a queen's breath? This is the underwear that I personally sewed for her lady queen. The hateful human race is really despicable. What? That's her lady queen's underwear. Damn it, what did your human race do to her lady queen? As Lin Yu took out the queen's token, the queen's aura was noticed by the dark elves. Among them, a dark elf with the appearance of a mature woman said in surprise. Her real age was close to 1,000, and she was the best tailor in the dark elf kingdom. She even sewed all kinds of clothes for Mebius herself. 1, 2, 3, 4, very good, 70 people protested. Let us guess whether your lady queen can experience 70 mysterious punishments. Lin Yu put away the queen's token, and looked around. That's enough, just go and get whatever you want, don't insult her lady queen. The seamstress dark elf said with an ugly face. Her name was Nalia, and she was quite prestigious in the dark elf kingdom. With her speech, the objections of other dark elf gradually diminished. Well, it's good, it's over if this is the case, and I didn't plan to be rough at the beginning. Your lady queen is the one who will hunt down and kill me if there is any disagreement. Lin Yu nodded with satisfaction, and then pointed to the spaceship in the distance. I only want the flying Magda ship, and I'm not interested in anything else. The Magda flying ship? It has been destroyed long ago and cannot fly at all. Moreover, we dark elves have long lost the craft of making the Magda flying ship, so it is impossible for you to repair it. Nalia was a little surprised. Unexpectedly, Lin Yu broke into the dark elf kingdom with great fanfare, and even took away the queen. Its purpose is to search for the Magda airship that is completely useless to their dark elves. It doesn't matter if you can use it or not, I just want to study it. Lin Yu performed the blood shadow step, and appeared in front of the Magda flying ship in a flickering figure. This flying Magda ship is meters high and meters long, and it can easily accommodate tens of thousands of people. Lin Yu touched the Magda flying ship with both hands, and soon the information introduction of the Magda flying ship appeared in front of him. Magda flying ship. Quality, orange. Damage degree, severe damage, reparable. Effect, it can resist the strong wind, pass through the passage of heaven and earth, and enter the sea of sky. End of this chapter.